Hi.
Hi.
Welcome to Why Are We Like This? I'm Ashley, she, her, and today I have two very special guests from AZB on YouTube.
Alastair J. Patton Garcia, he, him.
And I am Zachary Patton Garcia, also he, him. So, I know, our first little appearance here.
I know, I've been wanting to get you guys on for a long time.
For this filthy piece of trash show, too, right? The filth infecting America right now. Nobody can escape it. Heated rivalry is everywhere.
It is everywhere. So we're here to talk episode 4, Rose. What I've been doing is, since I'm having new people on every episode, at the top, if you guys want to give like your overall thoughts, your first impressions, anything like that, this is the time.
Of the entire show or of the episode?
Of the entire show, yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, I didn't even know really what it was when it first came out. Alastair kind of had it on his radar, and I just sort of followed suit. And this shit was raunchy, and I knew it was on HBO, but I was also like, it's a Canadian show. It can't be that raunchy. And that shit was crazy. Some of the things I was seeing in those first two episodes, because they dropped the first two, right?
Yeah.
At the same time. And it was just booty cheek to booty cheek, penis tip to penis tip for 2 episodes straight. And a very, very horny show. And I kind of expected it to be like that. Just, I don't know. That was my expectation going through the rest of the 6 episodes. And was really, really pleasantly surprised with how it evolved into, because there's nothing wrong with a show showing sex, especially a show showing gay sex, but with how heavy the sex was in the first couple episodes, I just thought it was like such a brilliant sort of evolution that as the characters get more intimate and their relationship grows, we see less of the sex. It's like that becomes a private moment between them, and we start cutting away more from those sex scenes. And I don't know, I just that alone really, really intrigued me about the show. Is I think the sort of storytelling aspect and the journey we go on with these characters is really effective in making me feel what they're supposed to be feeling at the same time. And I fucking love it, man. I love this show.
Yeah,
I brought it up to Zach. I feel like weekly for like weeks, and he'd be like, "What show are you talking about?" Like, Heated Rivalry. Like, what show are you talking about? Heated Rivalry. We do like a live event. People are talking about Heated Rivalry, and bring it up, and you're like, "What show?" Heated Rivalry.
I promise you, I'll never forget it again.
But my first introduction to Heated Rivalry is I probably read half the first book. Like years ago when it had the OG cover before, now all the books have the cartoon covers. And I remember putting it down. I don't necessarily remember why. I think it's because like I wasn't necessarily vibing with it as much at the time. And I picked up other books. So I knew what it was about going in, but I knew like the introductory, but not how everything kind of wrapped up for the book itself. So I was pretty excited going in, and I was pretty excited because I follow a lot of book channels, and they're all freaking out that Heated Rivalry was picked up by Crave, and then freaking out that Heated Rivalry was picked up by HBO. I was telling Zach, this is going to be big. This is going to be big. We actually decided to do a live watch of it, and I think that was it was great because it just felt momentous. It kind of felt like back when WandaVision was a thing a little bit.
Yeah.
Not to that extent, but like WandaVision, but gayer, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, I really loved it. So, that was my impression.
Yeah, I wondered if you read the books because I know.
Did you read them, Ashley?
I have read them now.
Okay. Journalism. I've tried not to because I've been interested in maybe picking up a book or two, but I don't know. I like going on the journey and being like super fresh with it. And I also I'm not one of those people who can read graphic sex scenes and stuff like that. It just doesn't hit for me as hard. I do have to watch it. Like when I'm reading it, I feel filthy. I'm like, that's just disgusting. Burn this book. And then I'm watching it and rubbing my nipples. But it's I don't know. I just love it. I love the characters and I love the actors who play them, and all the characters really have grown on me because even Kip, Episode 3, I I had a really hard time with it. And I've done a lot of unpacking with this too. Episode 3 is so sweet on the tooth, right?
Yeah.
It is just
Yeah.
so like, it is biting into a pure sugar cookie. And most of the YouTube videos that Alastair and I do are just like that. And so it's harder for me to watch that as well. Like I had a really hard time getting through this last season of Heartstopper as well, right? Like, and I love Heartstopper, but sometimes when we are in that mode and we are putting out that kind of content, I fucking hate anybody else who does it. I'm like, this is stupid. This is the stupidest trash that's ever been out there. And but after watching it and being removed from it, I don't know. I feel a lot warmer towards it, and especially towards the character of Kip. And I think Kip is a character that made me really uncomfortable in my initial watch of him, because I think he reminds me of an innocence that the other characters really don't have in the show, right? Like he's not on the same sort of like economic level, social level, like all of that. Like, and he has like a sort of wide-eyed innocence to him, that he's willing to follow this man that he's like fallen pretty head over heels for pretty early. And that I can relate to that. And I think that's what made it so uncomfortable to watch, is that it was a little too close to home, right? But I love them all, you know. This is my group of gays now. These are my best friends.
I love it.
With Zach, whenever we watch something or I'm trying to get him into something, I know I got him whenever he says, "This is so stupid." Because
that's all I say while we're watching it, dude. Is this all?
Because I know he's loving it, but he don't want to say he loves it, so he says,
like,
when
we have a dog named Brando, and when he like sees us when we come home, we say he's got really big feelings, so he has to displace it, and he like holds a toy. And so I feel like with certain things like this show, I have really big feelings, and I don't know how to displace those feelings. So
that's so funny. So before we get in, I just want to tell you why I'm so tired is because I went out last night to the heated rival rave. I was out till 2. And,
baby,
wow.
you could have told us that, and we'd have pushed it 5 hours. We could have made it work. How was that?
It was so much fun. They just like played pop music, and they had a giant screen, and they did like edits of the show spliced in with like the music videos. Also, not just from the show, but like from their interviews and like from their photo shoots. It's like everything. They did the Connor Story Madonna video, like with
Brilliant.
The song. Like it was so good.
He's such like an internet girly too, right? Like a hidden gem of an internet girly. He would be sitting at Charlie X's table, you know?
Yes.
Oh, he would be. Yeah, he's more of a like a. Now I'm thinking about Charlie XCX's music video. He'd be one of the new it girls.
How many times did they play the song from this episode? All the things she said.
Only only at the end.
Only at the end.
Yeah.
That should have been at least 4 times.
Yeah.
Did they play both versions or only one?
Only the regular.
Oh.
Yeah, but they played like the other songs from the soundtrack. They played "My Moon, My Man." They played "I'll Believe in Anything." Like they spliced in stuff, and like while we were waiting, they had the score playing.
This shit is crazy. Like, what kind of phenomenon, right? Like, this truly has become a phenomenon because what other show is putting out fucking raves and permeating into society like this? This is crazy.
It was also sold out and like shoulder to fucking shoulder.
How much were tickets?
Not like $35.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cheap. And then they had like themed drinks. They had like a Hollander drink and a Rosenop drink.
Was the Hollander drink like a ginger ale base?
Yes, it was.
It had like a ginger whiskey or something like that. Zach, we need to find a heated rivalry rave.
There has to be one in Dallas. We're in a major city. There has to be something here. We probably missed it. So
we probably did.
Well, guess what? They're coming back to Nashville in February, so they'll probably be circling back around.
And we'll be there. We're going.
They spliced in like all the other gay shows too. So there was like one where there was like Scam and Heartstopper and Red, White, and Royal Blue, like all of the like dance, like staring at each other scenes, like spliced in.
They Google gays staring lovingly at each other and just
in bisexual lighting.
Bisexual. It's always the bisexual lighting.
Yep.
That's brilliant.
So it was a good time, but I am tired.
Well, we'll try to make this fun for you. We'll try to be bouncy to pick it up.
All right. Well, we open on a Montreal versus Boston game, and we see Ilya score, and they say that Shane's been on the ice for both of his goals, so we know that he's like done pretty much all the scoring tonight. And we get this little like face off between the two of them, and Ilya's like having a good night and then doesn't wait for an answer. And he's like, that's nice. And just keeps going.
This little teasing moment, this little fucking menace too. And by the way, can we like add a little further context into this? That we have gone a whole episode where we don't really see them.
Yes.
The last time we left off with them, Ilya was such a piece of shit that I went into this episode scorching earth for Shane Hollander. I hated Ilya. I was like, I know I've been treated like that by a man, and we're not going to do this. And Shane needs to go on Grindr, and he needs to figure his shit out. And so we pick up, and Ilya's immediately teasing, and it's hard not to be like, I don't know, charmed by that in a sick, masochistic way. But fucking this little bitch.
But he's in so much pain.
He is.
So he like ribs him about like, should I do a hat trick now or should I wait till later? Because it'll be fun if I wait till later. And then we see him score again. We go straight into this like running, flirting, training summer montage with My Moon, My Man by Feist playing. And it plays this entire time.
It's a long montage. This is a 2-year montage.
Yeah, it is.
This is crazy too. It's like the passage of time in this show is pretty staggering.
Yeah. They really cover a lot of ground really quickly.
They do, and it makes sense because we're just tracking their relationship, right? And nothing is really happening in their relationship. It is a lot of texting. It is a lot of waiting. It is a lot of like small stolen moments, and then we don't see each other for like 6 months on end, right? And
the duality, right? Because like Shane Hollander, for me, like when Ilya called him boring for most of the episodes, I was like, you know what? You're not beating those rumors until the end, and I think that he kind of really came in. I don't think Shane let himself be himself, except for on the ice, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And he was always like he was so careful about everything that it really did come off as boring, even during the summers. Whereas Ilya went the other way of like just going out and hoeing around and maybe trying to do things to get his mind off other things like Shane Hollander,
right?
And the situation with his family.
Yeah. And we see that like evolution of their relationship in this montage too, because we see like we get the text like, have a good summer, don't have too much fun. And then I also love any time that Shane is running with Hayden, because Hayden's just like happy to be there. He's just like so excited.
Hayden's happy to be away from them damn kids.
Yes, that's true. It's like, it's quiet out here. It's nice. So then we get like all these splices of them like working out, and then we see like Ilya and Svetlana in the club, and like Shane's in bed reading, and then Ilya and Svetlana are like taking so many shots. Ilya does the thing where he like picks up the shot glass with his mouth and tosses it back. They were at the
heated Rivalry. You probably saw them last night. It's really interesting because like we do see a really, not a mirror, but we see the contrast between them because Shane is really focused, and he's got a family, and he's got a stage mom, and his stage mom is like really, got him on all these sponsors and really has him like on a track for success, right? And Ilya is just really fucking good at hockey and just goes out and does what he wants because like his family is back home. His family's not with him like this, like Shane's family is. He doesn't really have people around him like that, right? He kind of, it seems to me that Ilya is picking up people along the way.
Yeah.
For different, like when he goes to the club later and he goes up to, his teammate and he's like, hey, let's go to the club, call people. Like, and Svetlana really is the only true consistent person in his life. And I guess Shane too, to some extent, but it's interesting to see that contrast.
Yeah. We get the shot of Shane filming the commercial with the orange cream in like a soaking wet white t-shirt, and Yuno comes up and like straightens it and fixes his abs, which is so funny to me.
Very, very, very on point with that magazine photo that that cover photo he just did the other day that he came out with. Did you see that, Alastair?
One?
Yeah, standing in the pool with like the wet shirt on, and
yeah, I saw it. But I was also thinking, because I feel like there's a big ginger ale question mark over this entire episode, and I was like, oh, orange. What was it, like orange crush or orange cream, or whatever? And somebody else, I don't know who it was, pointed out that in this episode, everybody offers Shane what he doesn't want. Which is, that orange cream, the wine, the beer, the soda, whatever, and the only one who offers him.
I know, it's so intentional, and it just makes me float a little.
Yeah, so the orange cream of it all, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, it makes me want to scream.
Orange cream!
We also see them like checking their calendars the whole time and like counting down until they get to see each other. He gets a text from Lily that says, "See you soon," and he like puts it up, and then we cut to the ice and we get ? The best cut of the show ? Where we see Ilya like slam Shane against the glass on the ice, and then we see Ilya slam Shane down into the couch.
Fucking all over the place, all over the hotel room, right? And Alastair made the point while we were rewatching this today that they're always just going at it. These two guys who want to be so secretive, always going at it in front of the biggest fucking windows.
Yep.
Like Shane is face down, ass up in front of the biggest fucking window, probably.
Yeah. I think they're at that shot is his couch, actually.
Is it?
So, yeah, it's his living room couch. And then we see, again, Ilya slamming Shane into the glass, and he's, like, absolutely fucking cheesing when he does it. And we cut back to them on the couch again. And then we see Shane score, and then we cut to the shower, and Ilya is on his knees with Shane up against the wall. And I just want to, like, point out this shot is done, like, through the mirror. It's like a reflection.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, it's like, it's a shot of the sink and the mirror, and we're seeing the shower reflected.
Ah, the details you catch.
I was noticing them, I think, because the
I think I was. So, the gay men were looking at something different. You're like, ooh, the match is like the cinematography.
Listen, in episode 2, they have the 1221 is a Nashville room. And I was watching it with my friend, and she was like, "Did you notice all the Music City posters on the wall?" And I was like, "I haven't noticed a single wall since I started watching this episode." Like,
gotta go rent the room. You gotta go get the room.
So then we see Ilya watching Shane hoist the cup, and he's got like full on hard eyes watching him win the cup, and it is adorable.
Mm.
Do we think it's hard eyes, or do we think it's also like jealousy, but also pride at the same time?
Yeah. I mean, just instinctually, it'll be jealousy, right? But like, I do think that it is kind of like we see for a lot from Ilya in this episode that he is kind of fallen into that. That's my man, and I'm watching my man, and I like seeing my man, and he wouldn't admit it, but I see that on his face.
So then we switch to 2015, and I love. He texts Shane and says, "Have a boring summer." He says, "Enjoy friendly Russia." I was like, "Fuck."
And finally, Shane is throwing it back to him.
Yeah,
right? It's like,
he's been throwing it back to him.
I do like when we flip the script a little bit, and last summer it was Shane who was the one saying "have a great summer," and now this is Ilya's way of saying "have a great summer." Right? Yeah. This is his little playful, flirty way, and I don't know. It is like a very specific experience to live a relationship through text messages, and like digitally, right? Mm-hmm. Like they're very comfortable with each other. They really like each other. They do feel like they probably really know each other, but then like we see a little bit later in person, there's a little bit of uncomfortability, right? But
which is like based on my life experience, like pretty accurate. I remember we had a very comfortable texting and Snapchatting like relationship for a bit until I touched down in Alabama, and then I was like, I don't know how to talk to this guy.
He landed, and I went and picked him up, and we had been talking for like maybe a month or something like that.
Maybe, and, maybe a month. Yeah,
and it was just our texting and our FaceTimes flowed so effortlessly. And when I picked him up, he like wouldn't talk to me. He like didn't say anything to me. It was fucking awkward.
It's awkward when you make that switch.
It is.
Which I think for them especially, because like they've either talked like on the ice or like around reporters or stuff like that, which is like everything's very, already structured, or had sex.
Yeah, and sex is like their way of like covering up any sort of like awkwardness that there might be. Like when they meet up and there's a little bit of awkwardness. Well, we know what we're here for anyway. Let's just get to it. Let's have sex, and then see ya next summer.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, have a good summer.
Have a good summer.
Have a good summer.
There's rarely talking before, and Shane almost always tries though. And he's like, should we talk? And Ilya's like, no, every time. So then we get like these more spliced in of them working out with like Ilya dancing with a woman in a club, and he's like kissing all over her. And again, Shane is in bed, and then Ilya's at the club, and Svetlana like, he's like on his phone and he's distracted, and she like comes up behind him and he smiles at her and puts his phone down. And then we get Shane filming another commercial in just his white undies with like an icy background, and they're making him like strut, and he looks so uncomfortable.
He does. Hudson is not uncomfortable, however.
No, yeah. He plays it very well. And then Shane looks at the calendar schedule and sends a text, and Ilya looks at the schedule, and then Jane texts, feel like getting murdered in a dark, scary alley. Montreal in 2 weeks.
He's so funny. He's cute. And he's like, gotten more comfortable with him. And it's not just because it fucking like was grating the shit out of me in those first 2 episodes when all he would say as like his rebuttals was like, fuck you. Or, that's everything he would say. And I love seeing that now we are also getting let into a little bit more of Shane's playful side.
His personality's coming out. Ilya reads this text and then leans up and like full on blushes and giggles at this text as he replies. And then we see like a splice of them in Shane's house, and Shane is like getting pushed up, or Ilya is getting pushed up against the glass wall that leads up to the stairs, and then he flips.
Always a glass wall.
He flips Shane, and then their clothes are coming off, and they're going up the stairs, but they like cannot keep their hands or mouths off of each other. We cut again to Ilya watching Shane win the cup. And this time he's got friends over, Svetlana's over, and he's like, no, it should have been me. I noticed in this scene, he barely looks at the TV. Like, he can't even, like, watch it with people in the room.
Oh, I didn't notice that, but that's a good take, yeah.
And then Shane is in the locker room getting absolutely sprayed with so much champagne, but he is too busy
This
texting.
was cute. This was so cute. It's very like, this is a Hot Stop podcast, right? You would have the little animations around him if we could insert some editing into this. And he's just, I don't know, he's like really happy. He's like, this is like super elation for him, right? Like he's just won this, and he's got his man like texting him about it, and on top of the fucking world.
Yep. And then we go to 2016, and Jane texts, don't work too hard this summer. I'm going to win again next year. And this slows Ilya down. He stops to respond. And we cut over to Shane and Hayden, and he texts, the only cup you'll have next year is the one I'll take off with my mouth.
Filth!
So good. So good. And Hayden like notices he's distracted and gives him a little pat, like, focus on the running. It's just funny. And then we get them texting while they're working out. And then we get this shot of Ilya in Russia, and he's like giving his dad a glass of water and like on the phone, probably with his brother. So he like picks up all the medicine and he's like talking frustratedly on the phone.
Probably like, where the fuck are you? Why did you leave dad alone? Some shit like that.
And also the way he picks up all the meds, like it makes me wonder if it was med time and he like doesn't know what to do. Cause as someone who took care of my mom when she was sick, like the med management is ridiculous. And like I had to write down a schedule on paper and just keep it so that I could keep up with it. And then Shane, I love this shot of Shane walking outside the cottage with his dad where he's like talking about a player he really likes, but that his mom doesn't like. And he's like, well, I like him, but he was the kid that mom was always bullying because he was the worst player. He had no hand-eye coordination. And the whole time the dad is just like smiling and nodding like, yep, that sounds like my girl.
I'm also just like, what was the story they came up with to film this little montage piece, this little piece that was intended for a tiny montage? I also really love all of the foreshadowing we have in this episode. Like we've been seeing Ilya in the club, but we get a couple glimpses of this cottage. There's a lot being set up here.
Yeah. So this is the big, like, where we see the shift happen with Ilya because we cut back to him at the club and Svetlana's like dancing near him, but her back is to him. And then this really hot woman comes up and like gets all up in his face and like raises her eyebrows at him. And he just looks at her like, please fucking go. Like I
am not interested at all.
He's so bratty. He's just like it is truly like it blows my mind watching these two, like the actual actors in real life, because they are so opposite from they are each other, right? I have a harder time now seeing Connor act like that because I'm like, that's not you. You're so baby girl. That would be Hudson.
He is very baby girl. Svetlana notices this and she kind of like turns to look at him and like lingers on him for a second. Like she's picking up on what he's putting down. We see Shane is at Hayden's house and he's like texting under the table like a teenager. And then this is, okay, so we talked in the last episode because the Kip and Scott, that episode fucks up the timeline so bad if you are actually like following it. And this is one of the mess ups because we see him shooting this TV commercial we're about to see. We see that commercial play in the last episode in like the years don't line up.
Oh, they don't?
No.
Like, oh shit.
No. And
they was probably getting confused making the show too. Like,
well, Andy said she thought she read somewhere that episode 3 and 4 got switched in order at one point
in the lineup,
and so they think like that messes up a lot of the timeline.
And it can be listen, if I can believe that Sunnydale has a campus, a high school, a business center, an aquatic area, I can overlook this. It's like such a small detail because the timeline is crazy. Like I would never have noticed something like that. So you catching that detail is just impressive.
Yeah, I think I was confused because I did remember seeing that commercial in Kip's episode and being like, oh, I think I've already seen them film this. Because we've seen him film a couple of commercials like by now. So it just felt like that was one of the ones he did. And then but the connection makes sense.
The Kip episode works as episode 3 too. Like I do think the placement of it was a lot better.
Oh my god, yeah. Can you imagine if we left off on the club scene and then had to go to Scott and Kip for an episode?
I don't know if I'd have forgiven Kip. that might have done it for me.
So you see them looking at their schedules again, and I love when Ilya like walks over and like flicks the 17th, like, yep, that's the one. And then he texts.
I like that.
Yeah, he texts over to Shane and says ready to lose in like 4 days. And he smirks and like turns around and walks off. And this whole time, My Moon, My Man has been playing. And it's been, like you said, 2 years of falling for each other and getting
a long montage
and getting more and more invested in their meetups. And so one of the things I do here is like lyric breakdowns too. And so I wrote down like all the lyrics and where they fell in the montage. And I noticed that they play the song twice. The song is not that long. They go through the first verse, the chorus, the second verse, and then when the song starts to fade out where it would end, they go back to the first verse.
That could have been Taylor Swift's All Too Well 10-minute version, right? They could have just thrown that in there. Covered the whole length of it.
It's so good, though. The lyrics are so good and so perfect.
Did you time up how long the montage is? I should have done that right before this, because it is long, but there's so much happening too at the same time.
Yeah, because we've done all of that, and we haven't even gotten the title card yet.
Oh, we haven't. We're not even at the title card.
In my head, we're already 2/3 into the episode.
Yeah, I think
so
we might
much
be.
Happens. I do like that we get a flip of them. So the first time that it plays, we see we hear "My moon, my man, so changeable and such a lovable lamb to me," and we see Ilya, and then "My care, my coat, leave on a high note. There's nowhere to go but on. Heart on my sleeve, not where it should be," and we see Shane for that section. And then when they start the song over, it's flipped, and we see all Ilya where we saw Shane the first time, and all Shane where we saw Ilya.
You see what they do? They are so clever in this show.
Yeah.
The entire show feels so intentional.
Yeah. I'll do a deep dive on those lyrics later, because I am going to go through all tattoo lyrics.
Yeah,
later,
you should do a whole post about it.
I usually do a music episode, for Heartstopper. I do music episodes where we break down every song. So maybe we'll do that for this one too. So then we get our time card, or our title card, finally, and we see we are in 2016 October in Montreal. And we're in a parking lot with Shane and Hayden and the kids, and we just hear Shane say, "She's what?"
Pregnant again.
Yes. He's like, "Jesus Christ, man, you got to work on your lying." I'm like, you don't even know how bad he is at lying, really. You trust him too much.
Exactly. And also, I don't know, it's exciting news, right? Having another child. I always want to support a friend like that, but this is your fourth baby. How excited do you want me to be for this one?
That other baby is little still, too. It's you just had a baby.
Well, also, it's probably his perspective, too, because he might not want kids. I don't know what happens in the other books, but he might not want that for himself. And we kind of see this duality of, his friend Hayden, who has, I guess not necessarily the perfect family life, but what he could be, I guess, if he was a different way. And maybe he's vibing with it, maybe he's not as much. And then later on, we see Ilya open up a little bit more in a relationship-y way. And
I don't think he's necessarily vibing with it, but I think he is feeling the pressure. We get a lot of pressure points in this episode of because again, he's what did we come up with? 24 years old. So this would be the time where, you get married, you have your kids, and so he's feeling all of that. And I'm glad they included that in the montage a little bit earlier, as him at Hayden's house, is because he's spending a lot of time with this family and seeing what a family life is supposed to be like. And also, I don't know, he doesn't probably think about coming out. And so he knows that at a certain point there will be questions about, where's your girlfriend? Why aren't you dating anybody? Yeah. And so what are those expectations? And so
we do kind of see that with Yuna later too, with the princess.
Yeah. Well, because he could avoid it for so long. He had his rookie year. He had, he had all this time, and now the big question mark is who is gonna be who he's supposed to be with somebody. His teammate just had 4 kids, during the 8-year time frame or whatever, and he don't have no kids to show for it.
He's like hockey's
or girlfriends,
most eligible bachelor, him and Ilya, right? There are eyes on them, and so
whereas Ilya is at least playing the field. People,
he's being seen out with women.
Yeah, so he doesn't have the same kind of pressure as Shane does, I think.
Yeah. And also Hayden is just one of his teammates. I'm sure the others are also getting married and having kids. And so he's just really, really feeling that.
Well, they are. And we know that, because I think the show does a really great job with this at characters that really get nothing more than a quick shot of them and a line maybe to further, our main characters. still getting their little moment where we are clued in that like everybody is noticing, right?
Mhm.
Everybody's noticing the Lily, everybody's noticing the Jane in the phone, everybody's noticing that you're like hung up on this person, Lily, that you're talking to. And so like, where's that going? And so if everybody's paying attention, Shane has to know that people are paying attention too.
Mhm.
And like people bring it up to him. And so that even increases the pressure more. And it's just, it's piling onto him.
And if you think about it, obviously I haven't read the book, but like, especially with them trying to keep this situationship secret, they probably at public events kind of avoid each other. They
Yeah.
probably kind of maybe shit talk each other if they are talking to each other, or if they're with their teammates watching a game. They're probably not going to talk a lot or anything positive about the other person, right?
Mhm.
Making it seem like it is a heated rivalry,
Right.
even when they're just trying to hide their situationship.
Yeah. And we get this like quick scene with the kids like chanting, "You can't find me," and he's like, "Ruby, Emma, slow down." And this is something that the book people pointed out to me before I read them, that in the long game the kids like play a bigger role in everything, but they're so young in these scenes, so we never see them because they couldn't cast them yet because they would be so like, when you do cast a different kid for each year, like
Yeah.
and
that's
so
fair.
we just like hear them running around, but then they'll like cast them for season 2. So I thought that was clever.
Even better though. We don't need to see the kids.
Yeah, we don't need to see them. Mm-mm.
Don't waste screen time.
And he's just holding a doll. I'm assuming it's a doll.
It probably is. It's a reborn doll. It's like a baby alive.
That's what I was thinking too.
Baby alive. We cut inside the aquarium, and we hear him say like, "Ruby, Ruby," and he's like, "How do you know that it's Ruby?" And he's like, "'Cause she's a beast," which I think is funny. I'm like, I can't wait to meet Ruby, a little tornado child. So Hayden is like, and Shane is like, "So what?" And he's like, "When are you going to join me in this nightmare?" And he says, "Geez, Hayden, you want to get me pregnant too? I don't think I'm ready. I think I still have some good hockey left in me." And I was like, and 1,000 fanfics were born.
Yeah.
Probably
I was like, I'm pretty sure there's some fanfics about that.
There's
From AO3.
There's so many pregnant Shane fics.
What about Hayden fics? Does Hayden have a whole life out there on the internet that we haven't even seen?
Probably. I've been holding myself back diving in on the fanfics until I like finish everything because it will suck me in. And so I'm like, let me finish talking about everything and then I will dive into fanfic.
But he don't even want to get pregnant.
Who,
He even says it here. Yes.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't have a choice when we're the ones that get to make the decision.
I wrote the fanfic
now. Hayden's like, "You're an asshole," and then he like brings up this ex, and he's like, "What was it, Jennifer?" And he's like, "Jessica," and he's like, "Jessica, you ever hit that?" And Shane is like, "Oh, don't say hit that."
So that's crude.
Yeah. He says, "Sorry, Virgin Mary." And Shane says, "I'm not," but then he shuts up so fast because he's like, "I'm not a virgin. I fuck Ilya like every other week throughout the season."
Like, if you only knew,
Yeah.
Hayden, if you only knew. You know what? We didn't get that this season, did we? Like, he hasn't come out to Hayden.
Not yet.
Well, shit.
Yeah.
I love when the fans come up to him and it sounds like they say Holander.
No, Shane Holander.
Holander?
I think that's because they're Canadian.
Well, I just thought it was a gay joke.
Are you Shane
Written in there
Holander?
by the show's creator.
He's also Canadian.
I do think it's cute that Hayden's like, he like passes the baby over and he's like, "I'm just saying, if you ever do, you could like bring her around, we could do couple stuff. It'll be fun."
Like this, that doesn't sound fun right now. I wonder how old Hayden is supposed to be too. Probably around the same age, right? Maybe a little older.
I'd say around the same age. I feel like maybe he was a rookie at the same time, or maybe like a couple of years difference. But also, Hayden is recommending a yoga instructor who does yoga specifically for moms, and which I'm assuming that his wife does yoga
Right.
with them. So it's also an extra bit of pressure. Not only does she do yoga, but you might be able to have what I have, next. Maybe this is somebody, yeah.
And then they already know each other, and they can be friends, and we can be friends.
I think Hayden is a homosexual, and he is pushing that hetero life onto Shane.
There is
for a reason.
There's a debate about whether he has a crush on Shane or not.
The limp seems a little padam, a little.
I think he can, because you can have like a man crush. I feel like and be straight and just like idolize the person, right? Because
I don't know. It seems
Shane
a little beyond that.
Shane is the cream of the crop in the hockey world. Whereas, Hayden even mentions, "Hey, they didn't even recognize me. Like, I don't get recognized." And I think there's some of that in there, but I think it's really genuine platonic love, with them. Okay. That's what I feel.
That's less fun,
genuine
but okay.
Platonic love.
You're great.
For every episode we put out on Spotify, they let you do a poll. And so the episode 1 poll was like, because we see him go to dinner at Hayden's for the first time, and it looked like Hayden was like dressed up in like a nice button up. I thought it was a suit at first, but upon further investigation, it's like a nice button up. And I was like, did Hayden dress up for Shane to come over for dinner? And I had like all these different options. And the one that won by like 60% was like, yeah, but only because he's excited to have a new friend. And I was like, y'all just don't want me to have any fun.
Y'all don't see it. I see it, Ashley. Don't worry. I see it. Okay. And here he is trying to get Shane married up with kids so that he can become closer to Shane, have a commonality with Shane, and then they can bang in the shed in the backyard.
No,
they can share a backyard, but they're two houses. No, I have been in this world. I have been in this world, and I know how these DLs work.
And they are good friends. I mean, like he's like, I'm assuming the conversation went, I'm going with to the aquarium with my kids later. Do you want to come? He's like, yeah, let's go to the aquarium with your kids. Like Shane is kind of becoming the gay uncle to Hayden's family, without them knowing that he's the gay uncle yet.
Right.
Because that's crazy. Because especially if they're on the same team for 8 years, always seeing each other, him always being around the family, the kids, he is part of their family now. At least probably in the kids' eyes, and is probably called Uncle Shane by them. I would assume, being around them for
He
so
says
long.
it in this when he passes the baby over. He says, "Let's go see Uncle Shane."
Yeah.
Maybe Hayden's a Mormon. Maybe he'll give him a little like, that's not right. You can't be gay.
I think he's going to be his biggest supporter.
You think?
I think so, yeah.
Could be. I guess we'll see. Season 2 coming 2020, whatever.
I'm not going to say anything.
And wait, have you read past have you read The Long Game?
Oh, shit,
I've started it. I haven't finished it yet, but I've started it. So I know some stuff, but...
you might make me just go look it up.
Okay, so he tells him that, she's like engaged or something, and then he brings up the hot yoga mommy friend or whatever, mommy yoga, and then he says, I don't know, maybe it's just stretching, but she's seriously fucking hot, and she's funny. And all of that, and Shane just says, swear jar 2 times. He's like counting it. And he's like, come on, can I just show you her Insta? And Shane like finally reluctantly agrees. And he's like pulling it up and he's like, okay, good. Jackie will be happy. And he says, so we both have to make your wife happy now? He says, yeah, damn right we do. If you want her to keep making your gross food and keep my house stocked with ginger ale. And before he can get the Instagram up, the girls are fighting and he like runs away. So Shane never even gets to see the Instagram.
And good, because stop pushing that on to us. We don't push that lifestyle onto us. Okay. And it's so relatable too. Like, shit, I can't tell you how long, grandparents and uncles and aunts were like, and everybody fucking knew. Come on now. Everybody knew that I was probably gay and never stopped asking, well, when does Zachary have a girlfriend yet? It just doesn't ever stop. And so I'm glad to see it represented here too.
And Shane he's what, on a bird diet? He eats just bird
food only.
Is it really so he like has pellets?
Alastair. He is not, well, I mean, it could keep him cleaned out.
What does he say? A micro something diet. There's a term he uses.
So a tiny food diet. Tiny food.
Teeny tiny.
Boring.
And then, like, as Hayden runs away, he like looks down at the baby and is like, "Tell your dad to leave me alone." So good. And this is when the two girls come up and she's like, "Excuse me, are you Shane Hollander?" And he's like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Can we get a picture with you?" And he's like, "I kind of have my hands full at the moment." And I love her line delivery of, "Could you hold his baby for him, please, so we can get a picture?" So good.
Poor Hayden getting no credit.
Yeah. He's like, "It's my fucking baby." I also want to say this is a really great way to do an aquarium without doing an aquarium. It's just like a giant green screen that they put like a big infographic.
Is it? I was wondering about that. Okay.
Yeah, it's just like an infographic jellyfish scene, and you see like the little facts up there. So it's like, you know where you are, but they were probably just in a warehouse. Shit.
You know what? And again, I didn't even notice that because I just thought they were standing in front of a fish tank. And so I never looked to
I thought
read
they were
any
too,
of the words.
I thought that too. And then once I paid more attention and saw like how big the jellyfish were, I was like,
telling you, shoestring budget. They were working on nothing and they were making it work.
Well, I feel like they were spending a lot of their money on the music.
That's probably the biggest thing they spent money on.
Yeah.
And then the kids start yelling like, "I'm telling on you." He's like, "Narc." And then he says, "I'm getting a vasectomy." And Shane says, "Way too late."
It's too late. It's too late for that. My son.
Way too late.
Until he gets the fifth one.
So then we cut to Boston and we get Ilya watching Shane's episode of MTV Cribs. And we hear them say, like, "This is Shane Hollander's Fortress of Solitude." And we hear that it's like a house he had built on a private lake. And we see Shane sitting in a chair in the front yard. And he says, "It's my favorite place on earth. And my parents' cottage that I grew up spending my summers at is 10 minutes away." And I just want to point out, there's only one chair out there when he's sitting in this.
Because he's waiting on that second.
Two later when Ilya comes.
I'm waiting on that
second.
Is so cute. We've got the cottage. We're going to the cottage, and we didn't even know it.
We didn't even know.
And I'm wondering what's going through Ilya's mind in terms of, hey, that's his fortress of solitude. Maybe he's like, oh, this is like a part of Shane that I don't have yet. Like that I don't have access to.
I wonder what he is thinking sitting and watching this. Because is he a deep thinker? Like, is he thinking long and deeply, or is he more of a feeler rather than like thinking words? Is he feeling more?
Well, so the books, it's split POV. So sometimes you get his inner monologue and sometimes you get Shane's inner monologue. And so it's kind of back and forth. And it really seems like it depends on his mood. But he has a lot of almost thoughts that he is like, "We're not thinking about that though. We're gonna think about this other thing
can see
instead."
it. You know what? That makes so much sense.
Then we see Svetlana come in and she's like, "I'm ready unless you've decided that we should stay and watch whatever this is." And it's Shane doing yoga.
She's sitting there clocking him the whole episode, right?
With Jane.
Jane.
Yeah, she's about to, for sure. I love that, also he says, "Sorry, it's so boring, I almost fell into a coma." And I was like, he says fully hard in his pants. I was like, sitting on the couch watching Shane do
He says, "I need a minute.
yoga.
I can't stand up just yet."
Yeah. And she's like, "He's fucking hot, though." And Ilya just, looks at her and turns the TV off, like, "Don't look at my man." And we cut to them in the car, and they're both texting, and then she kind of, opens the door, right? She's like, "Are you seeing anyone these days?" She, kind of looks over at him, and he's, eyes down looking at his phone, and he's like, "Are you jealous?" And she says, "No, I think you would know me better than that." And he doesn't say anything, and she's like, "So there's no one serious?" He's like, "No." And then she gets nervous and she picks up her phone and looks down and she's like, "Not even Jane?" And he looks over at her like she's just slapped him.
Again, everybody knows.
Yeah.
Everybody sees it. They're trying to be so secretive, but they are fucking in front of big clear windows and everybody can see you. So.
Physically and metaphorically.
Yes,
yeah.
But mostly physically.
If this was football, they would have been figured out by now. I feel like real football,
if it were
international
2026,
football.
I feel like it would be figured out a lot quicker. But like, I don't know, we had a little secrecy still in 2016.
Well, if you look at some of these international football stars, they've had pretty questionable images taken of them, and they're like at press conferences. No, that's not true.
That was not my head between that man's legs.
But we were just hugging.
That's gonna be Shane and Ilya's press statement.
She's like, what? You've been texting for years. I thought maybe it was serious or something. And he shakes his head and he says it's not serious or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, okay, well, Sasha says hi. And that's her being like, don't forget that
She's
I
like,
know you fuck men.
Come on, talk to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm your best fucking friend. Shut the hell up. She doesn't take any of his shit, and that's what I really appreciate. Like, she knows that she can keep pressing if she wants to, you know?
Yeah. And she knows him better than anyone, so of course she's gonna have noticed this over the years.
Yeah, and she's not being shitty about it. She's like
documentaries.
Yeah.
Why is Shane Hollander on your YouTube
search? She's like, Jane sounds an awful lot like Shane.
It does. He accidentally types Jane Hollander. But the thing is, like, I like that how she approaches it because she doesn't. She's letting him know that, like, hey, I'm clued into this. Like, I know what's going on, but she's not being shitty about it. She's not like making jokes. She's not like, I don't know, throwing little homophobic jabs or anything like that. Right? She is just like, the door's open right here. If you ever want to say anything to me, and we can talk about Jane.
Yeah. So then we cut to Shane and Hayden's hotel room. And Hayden is unpacking, and Shane comes out of the bathroom, like, frantically fixing his hair. And then he's like, I'm heading out for a bit. And Hayden's like, cool. And he's like, to meet a friend. And he's like, nice. And he's like, I'll be back later. And Hayden's like, I won't wait up. And he's like, it's not like that. It's just a friend. And Hayden says, so Lily's just a buddy? And Shane, like, all the air leaves his body.
I know. Big glass windows.
Yeah. He says, what? And he's like, chill out, man. I know you text some girl named Lily. And he says, I don't.
Do we also okay, so how common also is it for teammates to be sharing rooms like this? Because we see it with Ilya, we see it with Shane. But, like, Shane is a big enough star at this point. Ilya too, probably. But Shane is a big enough star at this point with a pretty strong, like, team around him, especially his mom. Wouldn't they be able to work out, like, separate rooms for him? Like, him to get his own room? I don't know. A little nitpick, I guess.
I mean, they probably could, but he probably wants to room with Hayden.
Why would he want to room with Hayden?
Well, neither one of them are hooking up, so he doesn't have to worry about him bringing a girl home.
I guess.
I mean, you also have to think about the amount of budget they probably spend on hotels, the amount of away games. It probably makes more sense because they do a couple times have, like, the penthouse suite and stuff like that, but that's usually when it's, like, either huge. It looks like when it's either huge games or, like, award seasons. And they probably
or they're just paying
themselves.
For it for themselves.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but I think when it's rolled into the hockey budget, unless they're going to go out of pocket, and do you really want to go out of pocket for all the away games? Maybe it's worth it to go out of pocket for the Montreal or Boston games.
Well, I would figure it would be like having your own.
They already live there.
Yeah, having your own separate room would be more beneficial for these two anyway, because then they don't really have to, like, worry about hiding their phone or, like, I don't know, if they get horny and they want to, like, have phone sex or something like that, they have the freedom to do that. But I don't know. I guess maybe it's just all about hockey and
it seems like it's only with the teams too, because, like, when they go to, like, the Nashville conference 1221, like, Ilya has his own room and Scott says he's in the room next to him, but he doesn't say anything. So I think they all had their own separate rooms then because they were all they were as individuals at that one versus the whole team is staying here. But he tries so hard to hide it, and so he is, like, so shook right now. And he's like, I just love that his first instinct, but he cannot lie. He cannot lie to save his life. And as soon as he's like, I know you do. And he's like, no, I don't. No, I don't. Like, he's just like, what are you talking
He's
about?
like a second away from throwing his phone out of the window.
Yes, yeah.
Just be like, I don't care about this phone.
Well, and it also might contribute to what happens a little bit later.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the closest thing that he's had to somebody
Figuring it out. Yeah.
figuring it out, right?
Mm.
So with everything becoming so real, it might have been an added pressure onto all of it.
The boy's frantic.
Yeah, he's already a little shook as he's going to Ilya's. So
yeah.
He's like, go get laid, weirdo. And Shane like opens his mouth, but nothing comes out. And Hayden's like, or don't. I don't care. And then he's like, actually, I hope you do because you always play better after.
When he gets railed, he just does he's a better player. That's crazy.
Well, because if he's thinking about it the whole game if they're doing it after.
I know. He's like, I got those babies in me. Gotta score the goal.
Hayden says that he plans on fucking himself probably more than once. I love a hotel room. And Shane is like, gross. And then I also love the fact that Hayden takes both beds because you see him like unpacking his stuff on one bed and then he like goes and lays down in the other bed. I was like, you get no bed, Shane. He's like banking on you not coming home.
I didn't notice that. That's a good take.
So then we cut to Ilya's house and Shane's walking up to the door. And this is another little funny thing that happens is Shane rings the doorbell and then he knocks on the side of the house before he walks over to the door.
He's so awkward. So taco. He's just a little boy.
He is. And then we see Ilya like walk up and he like is fixing his hair on the way to the door and he's like in sweats and no shirt. And he lets Shane in and it's like immediately a little awkward. There's no hello or anything. Ilya just kind of like gestures for him to come in. And Shane is like, do I take my shoes off? And he says, no, you're good. And then Shane starts to walk in and Ilya is like following him around through the kitchen like the sickest little lovesick puppy I've ever seen in my life. He's just like giggly and blushy to have Shane here in his house.
It is so like early. Oh my gosh, it's been so long, but it's still like early talking stages, and it's that cute like giddiness and I don't know, going over to a guy's house for the first time. That's what this feels like, and I know he's been there before, but it feels like has he not been there?
This is the first time in the show,
so it does feel like that's why it feels like that because it's the first time going over to a guy's house, and you're not familiar with the place, and the guy's letting you in. The guy's already comfortable, and you have to. I don't know. It's just like very familiar feelings.
And that's a huge step for them if this is the first time he's been over there. Because he says, wow, this place is great. Did you get this place built or do you know who did? And Ilya is just so charmed by this. He's smiling so big and he says, Mr. Real Estate.
He's just trying to find something to talk about with you real quick. He doesn't know what to do with his hands.
And I'm assuming he did get it built, and maybe while he was getting it built, he was thinking of Shane and his real estate and all that stuff, and being like very particular about it, and like just thinking about how Shane is going to react to.
He probably was really excited because he saw Shane's like architectural digest thing. He was excited to show off his. I don't know. That's a way to connect to somebody.
Yeah.
In the books, they mention that he did one of those too. He also filmed the same thing of his house. And also another line that like makes more sense later. Ilya in the books is like a car guy. He has a fast.
I wish we got more of that. Fancy
sports cars. So later when he's like, she's got a new business selling fancy cars, and Shane is like, sounds perfect for you. It's because he has a bunch of cars in the garage.
So those are like
they just
more
don't have car budget,
right?
Yeah, those are more clues for like the fans of the books, right? Those are nice details.
Well, I feel like if they had car budget, because he does mention later that Shane has a Shane's boring car.
Yeah,
ran out of Ferrari money.
Yeah.
I also just want to say I was so pleased with myself the other day because I got a new phone a little while ago and I named it Mr. Real Estate. And then I got new AirPods for Christmas. So I named those Mr. Landlord. And I was like, I need a third thing. And then HBO updated their profile icons. And so naturally I made mine Shane and called it Mr. Businessman. And I have completed the trio.
Big fandom service.
So Shane is like all blushy about the Mr. Real Estate comment. He's like, that's not what I meant. And Ilya's like getting closer to him and like backing him up against the counter. And Shane says, do you think we need to talk? Like he's always trying to get him to talk beforehand. And Ilya says, no, after. And he starts to kiss him and he like picks him up on the counter. And then there's this debate here because you can hear it's so quiet, but it sounds like Shane says, oh my God, when he picks him up.
Does he?
Yeah. And there's a debate on it being there because it is so quiet. And some people are like, I hear it. And some people are like, I don't. And like, I definitely hear something, but I can't say for sure.
That's the delusion, the craziness to be like fucking with audio so that you could hear a little thing like that.
Yeah. This is where we're at with this show.
Why are we like this? Making it. But you know, it's cute. It's cute stuff, right? Like, and it also, I remember on my first watch, really made me more annoyed with Ilya because we had left off in the last episode on such like a sour note that I'm like, yes, maybe we should talk, right? Like it's been all this time. Talk to Shane. Shane wants to talk to you. Talk to him. And I was expecting this scene to go in the direction maybe that it had before, and Ilya's just like cold afterwards, and Shane feels a little, ashamed. And I love the way it goes, like he picks him up, takes him to the bed. We get like the sex scene in this part is probably, I think it's the craziest shit that's in the show, right? Like we're so close up. We are seeing like, we're seeing
marks.
The stretch marks are fucking crazy to see that close up, right? Like, and we're seeing when he flips him over and we see that ass shot. It's just,
I know the amount of times that they played that clip in the club last night. I just
somebody made it a GIF, and I see that fucking everywhere on X. And
even though you see it everywhere, when you saw it today, when we were rewatching, you gasped. Had a little gay gas.
It's shocking. It truly is.
Well, it's a hard cut. It's a hard cut from like this cutesy, sweet counter scene to just Shane riding the fuck.
Well, and his fucking niblets have to be like all scrunched up and folded into like a little pocket or something because the angles that we're at, like, how are we not seeing anything?
Well, right? You can also tell he's probably leaning forward a bit just to cover it up anyway.
The angles are.
So.
Yeah, but you can picture, right, that like that penis is rubbing up against that stomach, and I don't know, for just even from the back, like you would be able to see a little bit of like Ilya's balls, like, right, like if this was porn, it would be like that. So like, I mean, obviously it's a show, we're not going to see that, but like my mind fills it in. So like I see it.
Zach starts a ball campaign for season 2. Release the balls.
Release the balls, please. Release the ball cut.
we get to hear them in season 1. Let's see them in season 2.
That's sick. This is a disgusting show.
But also, this is the first time we've seen them have sex in the light.
Yeah.
Every other time has been at night. Even when the windows are open, it's a night shot. And so
got a lot of firsts.
It feels different when it's in the daytime. And then we get the shot of Ilya still being in bed, and Shane is like coming back from the bathroom, and Ilya like pats the bed for Shane to come back over. And so this is where like a little bit of we get Shane's like inner monologue in the book. And he's like, I should leave, but he patted the bed, and I'll do what he says. So he like goes over and sits with him, and the whole time he's like, this feels weird. This is what couples do, like on the couch with the tuna melt and everything. He's like uncomfortable the whole time because he's like, this feels like a couple thing, and we're not a couple, and we can't have this.
Look at how Ilya treated him that one time. I'm gonna go back to it again. Episode 2, the end of it, right? Like so different from how Ilya is acting right now, and so it has to be giving him a little bit of whiplash and like what to expect, because they set expectations that like sex is sex. They probably don't do much outside of that, and this has to be like the first time that they're really cuddling after sex, or sitting on the couch together after sex, or like, spending any length of time together after sex, right? And so Shane probably is freaking out a little bit in his head because this is breaking the norms that we set.
Whereas Ilya has planned this. Like, this man planned this.
He thought it out. I fully believe that, yes.
He got enough food for both of them. I'm like, they're both in the middle of, like, they're talking about where they're going to go after this. You think he just had tuna in his fridge? Like...
Well, also, like, kind of going off of your point, Zach, like the end scene at the end of episode 2, like, I've kind of felt like that's what Shane wanted was like the kiss, maybe even more of a, maybe it turned into something different. But I think that kind of set the standard a little bit for the relationship. Obviously, they kiss later, but it set kind of a line in the sand that Shane wasn't going to cross, but now Ilya is crossing, and it's uncomfortable, especially after all the pressures. But I love him making the tuna melt. I think it was the Bruins are doing like a Heat of Rivalry box.
I saw that.
That was with tuna melt
with a ginger ale too.
And ginger
they
ale,
tried to hold off as long as they could, but they had to participate in the Heat of Rivalry merchandise.
Yeah. But it's so cute because like he makes him the sandwich, like he's thinking about him this time. You can tell he did plan the day. I don't know if that's what it's like in the books, but he planned this day for them just to chill.
Yeah, it is kind of, it's very like, you don't really know. It just kind of happens in the book too, where it's like, and we cut to this and here he comes and this is what's happening at this. So we don't really know for sure that he planned it, but it's like,
it's a lot of intimacy.
He don't have ginger ale in the fridge.
They fall asleep together, you know? Like that's a crazy level of intimacy that is just kind of jarring when you have been, I don't know, treated like you're just a hookup on every other 6 months and stuff like that. So I don't know. It just like, it does throw me for a loop a little bit. And you just can't play with this boy's feelings like that. You can't do that. But it kind of goes well, you know? And then, the whole tuna melt, the ginger ale, and
sitting 6 feet apart.
When they're sitting is really interesting, right? Because
and how they get closer and closer.
How they get closer and closer, and how their positioning and postures open up. Because when they're first sitting, remember, it is like that first sort of like moment spending time together after sex. And like, this is probably by this point, Shane would have been at his own house by now, right? Like
they've already had a nap.
This is a long time that they've spent together. And so now they're sitting on the couch and what are they really going to talk about? And so they're both like very into themselves. They have their arms crossed. They're sitting, really, they're really guarded, right? And they do a little bit of talking. And that's, we see that as the kind of like icebreaker discussion. And then when we do cut and we see like the next conversation they're having, they're both much more relaxed. And I don't know, this shit is just brilliant. Like it's really good direction.
Also, Shane has on Ilya's shirt.
Yes.
So he's sitting on Ilya's couch in Ilya's shirt, eating food Ilya made him. Like, sensory overload for Shane.
He's flustered.
Yes.
He's not emotionally prepared for.
He's not. That's
No.
That's a perfect way to say it. Is he's not emotionally prepared to. And whereas, like you mentioned earlier, Ashley, Ilya was preparing for this. He probably thought out, like, I don't know, we'll move to the living room at this point. We'll do this at this point. We'll do this at this point. And Shane didn't get any of that preparation, So it's a lot. It's a lot coming at him at once.
Yeah. So we get this conversation where Shane's like, I should go. And Ilya leans back and looks at him and he's like, he's trying to keep it so like casual and chill. He like shrugs and he's like, or you could stay. And Shane is like, stay? And like the way that his voice breaks when he asks that, it's like shock and excitement and terror and hope all at once. And I'm like, Hudson Mildred Williams, you
Hudson Mildred
killing
Williams.
Killing me. So good. And Ilya shrugs and he's like, here tonight. And then he kind of like he's like, I'm not done with you yet. Like, I want to have more sex. And that is the only reason that I'm asking you to stay, basically. And he's like, we have an afternoon game tomorrow, so there's no morning practice. And then they have this back and forth because Shane, again, cannot lie. And he's like, well, I told Hayden. He's like, is Hayden your mother? And he's like, no.
Ilya is such like, he's really funny. He's such an asshole, but he is really funny. Things like that are so fucking hilarious to me. Hayden is your mother.
And I'm also thinking in my mind, like Shane bottoms a lot, right? So he's probably thinking, oh, how am I going to clean out in your house?
Oh,
That's fair.
Like, yeah.
Oh, that's off-screen stuff.
That's odd, but it's it's also like it's relevant. It's a comfortability stuff.
Yeah.
That's true. And he leans in for a kiss, but he waits. He makes Shane come to him to complete the kiss, which is
him.
No, don't
give him
hate
something.
him.
Give him some. No, I don't hate him. But
He's giving
give
him everything
something
right now.
No, go all the way because I still haven't forgotten episode 2, the ending, and the way you treated this man. I do think it comes from a place, and I think it comes from his background and stuff like that, that he does have to be such a hard ass, and he can never go the full 100%. Otherwise, that's giving away a little bit of power that he has. And he has learned in his upbringing and everything, his family, that power means something and you have to hold on to power, right? That's why he has to be the best at hockey. That's why, he's paraded around as this like golden boy. And it is very important. So like when he has those moments where he just won't even go the full way and Shane has to do the rest of the way, it's like, give him a little bit of that. Just let you don't have to hold on to the power every single moment of every single day, but we do get rid of it.
I also don't feel like I get the vibe. There's no basis. This is just my own vibe that where Shane has worked like really fucking hard to like be good at hockey. And like, that's been his plan his whole life. Ilya kind of just was good at hockey and got noticed and got good at it, but it's not his whole life the way that it's Shane's whole life. And so he just like is lucky that he's good at it and he kind of just fell into the lifestyle and it gets him away from home. And so he just like kind of went for it. But I don't think that he like sees it as like a power thing until he's like, fuck you, my brother. I will absolutely use every bit of power that I have to make this entire country hate you.
Well, I think it is like something that is ingrained in him in a way that ties to what you were saying about vulnerability. I think that being vulnerable to him, I just think it's a mindset that he has. And I think being vulnerable to him is giving up power. And maybe he doesn't even know what like power is really. But giving up power could be getting hurt, could be, losing this or losing that. And in order to keep your life together, you have to hold on to a little bit of power. So I think my understanding of it is like what you're saying. It's just, it's sort of like an ingrained mindset is what I think he has.
It's that, and I think it's also like his family. Like his family, at least from what we've seen, doesn't seem like a family that you can be vulnerable with.
No, and I think his dad was somebody who would have preached power, and that's why I say
that's
that.
fair.
So,
Yeah.
But we do let those walls down, though.
What the glass walls?
The glass. Just get rid of them all at that point.
The last stay that he says is like, it's like almost like a wine, like stay. Yeah. And it melts me every time. And it melts Shane. He's like, okay. And so they kiss again. And I also want to point out the painting above his bed. I've seen people say that it looks like they're face off because the colors and like Shane is on the left and Illy's on the right. And I do see that, but I also see the like end credit scene of them like sitting next to each other, looking at each other as they drive off. But either way, the art is always perfect in this show.
It is.
So we cut to them waking up from a little nap, and Shane is the little spoon, and Ilya is staring at Shane, and when Shane starts to wake up, he turns over, and Ilya pretends that he was also asleep, and he does, like, wake up face, even though he's been sitting there staring at Shane.
He's posing at him like...
Yeah, exactly.
This is just how I sleep.
Yeah. I'm like, this is the first time they've ever actually slept together. Like, cuddled up, fallen asleep, woken up together.
It's a big deal. Yeah. I did not, when Alastair and I first slept together in the same bed, I slept in my jeans because I didn't want him, because, like, my legs are, like, one of my biggest insecurities. And so, like, I did not want him to see my legs. And so that entire weekend, I slept in my jeans.
It was
or like
weird.
long sweatpants.
It didn't feel as weird at the time. I just thought you were being like super modest, which I guess you were being modest, but
I don't know. You just you know, where's that comfortability? You don't have that comfortability yet, and so but like Shane seems super comfortable. He's stretching his arms out, and
and like when he like rolls over and sees Ilya, he lets out like this happy little sigh and like smiles and turns back over. My note is just God in all caps. And Ilya says, I'm hungry. And Shane is like, for what? And he says, for food, pervert, and grabs Shane's tit. And Shane is like, hey, and like giggles. And we cut to the kitchen. Ilya hands Shane a ginger ale, and then he just like stares at him, smitten for a second. And he says, you like tuna melt? And Shane looks like he might implode. And he's like, you want to make me a tuna melt?
I know. And it's cuter here than it was in the last one, because the last one, when Scott came home and he's like, what is this food? And Kip's like, Alfredo, I made it. And he's like, you cooked for me? I wanted to shoot myself. Oh my but when I see it here, there's a little chaos with these two that it makes me feel like it's cuter. And I'm like, oh, I like it. It's
the balance, nice. Right?
It yeah, sure.
Compared to Scott and Kip.
Yes. I like Scott and Kip, so I don't want it to come off like I don't, but it's just those moments again were like so sweet for me that I was just like, oh, please, no more. And then this one, it could go south at any moment, right?
Yeah.
It could turn into an asshole at any moment, and I know that like looming chaos is there.
Yeah.
And so for some reason, it makes it a little bit more bitter, and it's a little bit more, I can handle it a little better.
I mean, the way he replies where he's like shrugs, he's like, well, I was going to make one for me, so I'll make one for you too. Like,
yeah, he's the kind of guy that would like hand you the tuna melt and be like, here, you stupid idiot, eat your tuna melt. And I think that's just easier for me to be able to handle.
That sounds super healthy.
but is the tuna melt part of the bird diet? Is that like good with the bird diet?
He's not going to say it if it is or isn't. He's just going to eat the tuna melt.
Just going to eat the tuna melt.
Mm-hmm.
So then they go over like where all he's going after this game, and he tells him like the little tour, and Ilya's like, all the hot spots, huh? And he asks, is your ginger ale cold enough? And this line kills me after the monologue, because like he's taking care of him, he's making him food, he has his favorite beverage, he's making sure it's cold enough. Like this is one of his love languages, this and ribbing, which he like does at the same time. And it makes the end of this scene so much more heartbreaking for me because, again, he got a little too vulnerable there on the couch, and now all of this is falling apart, and he's been burned again.
I mean, see, it's let go of some of that power, and
Yeah. We get them on the couch. Ilya's putting on the TV, and he says, Jesus Christ, do you know this guy, Ryan Price? And so Ryan Price is, I think, one of the other books in the series talks about him. And so they're like sprinkling in these other
he's a gay too
from the universe.
The team is a gay.
Yeah, everybody's gay. The requirement to join the hockey league is that you have to suck dick.
I understand. I see you. Gotcha.
See, we should have gotten into hockey.
Yeah.
Maybe we still can.
I actually played hockey during like my middle grade years.
A gay.
Gay.
A gay. I knew it was a gay sport to do, so that's what I did.
So they start like going back and forth about Ryan and saying how Ilya's like, he's not what you would think. He's so quiet. He doesn't make friends. And Shane's like, well, yeah, he gets traded every season. Tough to make friends that way. And he says, probably wants to get traded again. Buffalo is terrible. And Shane says, yeah, and their team sucks too. And Ilya giggles and is like, and people say you're not funny. And Shane's like, they do? And he's like, yeah, they say you're boring too. And Shane's like, who says that? And he says, me. Also, another painting shout out. This one above his couch is like an abstract mix match of their jersey colors. Shane and Ilya's jersey colors. So it's like very
intentional.
Very cute.
Damn, it just feels like he built this monument to Shane.
Yeah, it does.
That's what it feels like. Yeah.
So then we get this conversation about what's your favorite city to play in? And he says he likes New York because it's New York. They fucking hate me there. And Shane's like, they hate you everywhere. And he says, no, not Florida. It's full of Boston people. And I'm like, that's another line that will come back around in the next episode. And Shane is like, I like Ottawa because it's my hometown. Toronto, Winnipeg, I'm happy they have a team again. And Ilya like cannot contain how charmed he is by this. He's like smirking and giggling. And Shane's like, what, are those boring answers? And he's like, yes. But he says it very like lovingly.
He loves how boring he is.
Yeah. It's important to him. He has such a not boring and traumatic life that he just wants like boring instability. And so that's why Shane is so perfect for him. Anyway. So he's like, well, I like all the hot places too. And Ilya's like, oh yeah? And he's like, hot, like weather hot. And he's like, okay, well, LA is hot, hot women. And he's like, sure. I mean, there are hot women everywhere. And he's like, there is a girl I like here very much, Svetlana. And Shane says, oh, and then like angry black cat mode has activated.
The Heartstopper graphics, everything goes dark and purple.
Yes. The anxiety bubbles. And he says she is old friend from Russia. Her father was famous goaltender of Soviet team. She knows everything about hockey. And Shane is like, cool. And he says, and she likes you very much. And the way that Shane says, oh, like, that's nice.
I can't wait till they meet.
Oh, it's going to be so good. And Shane's like, so what, is she like your girlfriend? And he's like, no, nothing like that. She's just an old friend. Sometimes we fuck, but you know, these days she's got a new business selling fancy cars. And he's like, sounds perfect for you. And he says, it's close to that, but, and then hesitates. And Shane's like, but what? And I'm like, but she's not you. And he's like, it's nothing more than that for either of us, but it's nice to have a regular woman around. And he's like, you think she's the only woman in Boston that'll sleep with you? And he's like, I think I'll find someone else. And Shane is just like fuming over there. He's like dying. The jealousy inside is like
gripping the couch.
He's like, you make me a tuna melt, and then you say these things?
And he says, but you know me, I'm lazy, so. And Shane gets a smile, and he's like, I don't know that side of you at all. And again, this is the other side of the parallel that I mentioned last episode between Scott and Kip and Shane and Ilya and the hockey players thinking that they're lazy and their lovers being like, you're not lazy at all. I've never seen that side of you. And the food timer goes off and Shane goes to like get up because he doesn't know what to do with himself. And Ilya's like, no, I'll go get it. And I love the shot where like he walks away and Shane is like sitting on the couch, just like holding his hands and like on his chest, just like, what do I do?
What do I do with myself?
What do I do with my hands?
Yeah. So he comes back with the food and they are sitting so much closer now while they eat. And Ilya just jumps right back into the girls' conversation. He's like, you like them? And Shane is like, talking about the tuna melts. And he's like, girls. And he's like, oh, yeah, of course I do. He's like, I never hear about you with girls. And he's like, well, it's private. I keep a lot of things private, obviously.
he's like, I love boobies.
Yeah. They are my favorite.
He like does not know how to handle this conversation. And you know, Ilya's in like a really specific spot too right now because his dad is still alive, right? And so he still has his family ties. And so the question of coming out and like actually like living for himself is not really there. So like beard. I can go get a beard, you know, I play around so that I have beards is basically what this conversation is. Shane, are you going to get a beard? What does that look like for you, right? Like this conversation is happening and it's just not in such plain language and Shane knows it, but Shane doesn't want to have this conversation. He has a belly full of Ilya's tuna melt.
Was not sure where you were going with that. He's like, I like girls. And he's like, yeah, no shit. And he said, but I also like you. And I'm like, he just wants Shane to tell him he likes him so bad. He's like, tell me you like me. And Shane like smirks. And I'm like, Ilya said it. He's consistently the one who says his feelings out loud first. Shane says it in like indirect ways through actions and things. But like Ilya says it directly. He says, I like you. On the way to the cottage, he says he's like also terrified and opens that conversation up to be a little more vulnerable. And then he's the one that says, I love you first twice. Because he says it in Russian first and then again in at the cottage. And so you're just like slowly seeing these like layers of Ilya come out.
Yeah. I would, if I was Shane though, I would be a little scared of Ilya. in that way, like to be that vulnerable with Ilya. So because you just don't know, like they're not together enough to know like that this isn't about to be a switch up. And I don't know what the next meeting is going to look like between us. So I would be nervous. I'd be a little scared to be this vulnerable. But I don't know. We're getting there. It's only been like 8 years.
I know, right?
only been 8 years. Another 8 for the first date.
Exactly.
So 16 years. That's not too bad. Wait, this is a vampire show, right?
It should be. It better be.
They only meet up at night. Like, so Shane says, "Lucky me," and Ilya's like, "Not as person, of course." And he's like, "No, of course not. I'm boring." And he says, "But you have a good mouth."
Oh, that's cute.
And I love that when his phone starts to buzz and he like picks it up, Shane takes like a quick, like he looks over at it and then like tries to pretend like he didn't. I'm like, he's like, "Is that Svetlana? Is she calling right now?" So he like hands him the remote. And like as he's like trying to listen, Shane's like trying to listen, he like remembers that he has the remote and you see him like flick the volume back on. He's uncomfortable, which is valid. And Ilya walks out of the room and he's talking to his dad, who is freaking out. And we find out that his brother has left him alone. And he says, "Is Polina there?" But we're guessing she's not. And he's like telling him to stay calm. And there's a shot that we get in the middle of all this again of Shane, and he's just like sitting on the couch staring at the remote in his hands.
Listening to the only Russian word that he knows.
Yeah, which is Papa, by the way. It's like, yes, I know the word for father, and I'm like...
I think we could have all guessed that.
Yeah, I think we all know the Russian word for father. So he like hangs up on his dad. He says he's going to call his brother, and he absolutely goes off. I wonder if he actually had his brother on the phone or if this is a voicemail. Because he doesn't like wait for any responses. So it could really be 50-50. And so he's like, "Dad's alone," and he's freaking out. "I pay you to be there with him, you asshole," and hangs up. And then he walks over and like takes a deep breath. He like wrings his muscles out. He straightens his cross before he goes back.
It's cute. I love seeing when Connor gets to like, cause he plays, the playful asshole a lot in the show, and I do like when he gets to just raise those emotions a little bit more. I'm waiting for like Shane to do a little bit more of that also, and I know he's capable of it because I see Hudson. I'm like, this is not fucking Shane. Yeah, but it's really nice seeing Connor get to like fucking go off on the phone or like have these like huge moments of rage and yeah,
and in Russian, and he kills it.
Oh my god, in Russian, and we're not even like there is no way to like fully give enough credit to the work that he's doing with that, because these are long ass fucking paragraphs in Russian. They are, it's crazy. Making sure you have accent correctly, making sure that you are speaking quick enough, because when you're speaking in your native language, you're going to speak quicker than you are like trying to like.
Well, especially if you're angry.
Yeah,
you're like,
wild.
That scene where he's yelling at his brother at the funeral. I was like, oh my god, give him
insane,
awards.
Dude, insane.
So good.
He should get a language pay bump or something for that. I feel like
for the next
little extra bonus.
Yeah, a little language bonus.
Also, okay, so to bring up the art once again, these pieces that he's standing in front of while he like gets himself together before he goes back out. There's like 2 side by side, and it's 2 circles on each one, and they're like not quite a yin and yang, but they're like touching. They're on their way there. And I was like, this is kind of representing these 2 fucking idiots who are like...
What color are they?
They are black and white.
I noticed this one.
The other reason that I noticed the colors is because one of them is black on the top with white on the bottom, and one of them is the opposite. And that is how they were dressed in the gym scene in episode 1.
Oh my gosh!
I did notice that. I know. Well, I didn't
Easter
notice
eggs
that.
upon Easter eggs.
I didn't make the connection, but like I truly, like you're listing it off artwork here, and I truly thought that they went to a TJ Maxx and had to pick up some like standard fucking art.
I was thinking too.
And apparently everything has a meaning. So next time I watch, I'm going to look at the baseboards.
Which honestly, it just means of how like careful the show, the people who worked on the show were. of making sure that they
Invested.
did a great job. Yeah.
Yeah.
So even the people doing the what do we call them? The sets.
The set design, yeah.
We're just like really into it. Yeah.
Yeah. But I like that they're like they're on their way to being two complete circles. They're like two different, not to bring in the name of the music that got written for this, but they're two souls about to become one soul.
Symbolism.
Yes. So he goes back in, he sits down next to Shane just as close as he was before. And he's like, "Are you still hungry?" And he's like, No, but thank you. It was great. And he says, "Good." And he's like visibly tense. He's like rubbing the back of his neck. He's kind of like sighing a little bit. And Shane notices and he says, "How's your father?" He says, "You speak Russian now." And there was like, I saw mixed reviews about that line delivery of people thinking he was like mad. Like, you speak Russian now? And I'm like, no, he is like,
no, it kind of broke the ice a
cutely
little bit.
impressed, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's like, "Are you learning Russian for me?"
He finds Shane very funny in this scene, right?
Yes.
Like, and he thinks the fact that Shane is picking up on some Russian is adorably cute and funny.
Yes.
So
he says, "I know the word for father." And then I love Ilya like looks at his mouth and like pauses on his mouth for a minute there. He wants to kiss him so bad, but he scoots closer and he pulls him in to like lean on his chest. And this is the big part in the book where Shane is like, "What are we doing? What are we doing? This is cuddling on the couch." Like,
what is the signal? Because again, like before this meetup, right? Every other meetup was sex based. We were only sexual, and that is it. But like, and I love that we see it visually. See, this is why I can't like. I probably wouldn't translate with the book as well. It's like when I'm seeing it visually, you see Ilya simply pulling him in. He's doing that as like an intimate moment. It's not leading to sex for him. It's a nice like change that it's Shane that's pushing for the sex in that moment.
it's true.
Well, it's a change, but I think that it's also he's uncomfortable being with them just being intimate like that without sex involved, right? So he automatically starts, kissing his chest, doing stuff because he's like, I'm uncomfortable with us doing coupley things, so we need to do bunny things right now.
Well, the bunny things. That, and, there's also a very simple answer to this, is that these are young guys who are really fucking horny, and when they're in close proximity, they want to, they want to bone, they want to get off together, and I also think, there's a little bit of that in there.
Better.
Both is okay.
There's also the really sweet reading of he knows that Ilya just had a really upsetting phone call and needs comfort, and this is the way he knows how to comfort him.
I think it's all of it. I think it's all of it. I think there's a lot going on in their minds at this moment.
Yeah.
And it's just changing from moment to moment, So
yeah. And he's like petting Shane's head, and he leans down to like kiss him on the top of the head, and he's like threading his fingers through his hair. I'm like, he's so in love. And Shane like starts to rub up and down his thigh, and then he starts to like, you see him like filling him up through the joggers, and Ilya is like not moving a muscle except for petting Shane's hair. He's like, and
he's like, I'll let you go for it.
My note here says, "My tummy hurts. This is so sweet, but it's gonna go so wrong." And so he finally looks down at Shane, and Shane turns to like start kissing up his torso. And then at that point, he puts both of his hands in Shane's hair, and Shane kisses him all the way back down. And this is where my notes get a bit frantic, because he starts to like mouth at him through his joggers, and my note in all caps. And this is when Ilya puts his hand like inside Shane's shirt, and it just like melts me so much, because he just wants like skin to skin, like physical contact, but like they have on so many clothes, so he just puts it through the head hole on his back and is like rubbing his back. And I'm like, this man has begged you to stay. Let's be so real. He begged you to stay. He purchased your favorite beverage. He cooked you a meal. He is so in love that this hurts to watch.
He built you a monument.
Yes.
He did build you a monument.
All of the artwork in the house is you.
He made his house boring like Shane.
He knows you love big windows.
He knows you love to get banged in front of a big window.
So Shane straddles him and like whips his shirt off, and Ilya looks up at him like he is a god amongst men. And they like kiss for a minute, and then he starts to touch Ilya, and you see him like they're like kind of taking their pants down. And this whole time they're kissing so much, like their like mouths are magneted to each other, like they pull back and then they're back. And I'm like, you guys kiss way too much this whole time, this entire relationship, for it to mean nothing, but here we are. And Shane, like, there's like this long bunch of seconds here where Shane is touching them, and it like Shane is just kissing Ilya's face like all over. Like he kisses his forehead and his nose and his cheek and like all these different places. And I'm like, this is so like loving and like adorate. Like they're just adoring
that moment
each other.
of like intense sexual, an intense sexual moment where you also have really strong feelings for somebody, where you could accidentally say "I love you," right?
Yeah.
And I feel like them saying their names to each other was that, but without like actually accidentally saying "I love you." 'Cause, I mean, it's a really good, like the choreography of this sex scene is really good. It's not even, they don't even have sex, right? It's like jerking off. They're jerking each other off, and but it's like also so long that. It's, you know, in most movies, it's really quick. You know, you reach the hand down the pants. There's like a quick, you know, Harry Styles moans for a second, and then, you know, he's finished, right?
Yeah,
but like and it's still quicker than probably, you know, is normally going to go down. But it is just like, I'm very impressed with the realism here.
Yeah. And we get them talking where they're saying their last names. So he's like, fuck Hollander. And he's like, you gonna come for me, Rosenoff? And he says, fucking make me.
It is some of the sexiest things when he says fuck Hollander. Every time he says that, it's like when he's like,
it's the way he says it
from, I'm not even going to try right now.
You can do it, Zach. You can do it. You can do it.
No, I feel like I feel like that's porn.
This isn't Quinn. Okay, this is why we like this. So he like, and then he spits in his hand, and my note just says, "Oof!" Like,
have to.
And then we get this moment where they're just like mouth to mouth panting, like they want to kiss, but they're so caught up in it that they can't. So they're just like touching mouths.
Sometimes being that close to is like really hot,
yeah.
And the kiss just doesn't happen, but it's like right there.
Yeah,
really
hot. And then we see them finally come, and they say, like, he says, fuck Shane. And the way that Shane's eyes fly open when he says it, and in the books, this is the first time he's called him Shane. And so he's like, I think he says like, Shane, he called me Shane. And then there's like no thoughts for a minute. And then he says, Ilya, in like barely a whisper. And I wish this wasn't such bad ADR. Because
it worked for me because I didn't even catch it then.
You don't see their mouths move at all when they say their names.
It's a thought.
It's just like such an important moment, and it that does drive me nuts that it's not great ADR.
Strongly worded letter.
Yeah. And then Ilya like fucking smiles, and Shane kisses him, and then he pulls back. And you know, like in this moment, Ilya's like on top of the fucking world because he planned this. He like had him come over with the intention of trying to see if he'll stay, and like everything is going right in this moment. And then when Shane like pulls back, Ilya takes it kind of like as just getting air, and then tries to kiss him again, and Shane's panic sets in, and he's like scooting back, and Ilya's like chasing him with his mouth. And then you see the confusion like set in on Ilya's face, like, what? And like, it's so heartbreaking to me when he is sitting on the couch and he's like, I should go. Like, I forgot about a meeting. I gotta go. And he's like got his arm out, and he's like,
what is happening
Hollander.
Here? Were we just not in that moment together? Where did you go? It's that like sort of post-nut clarity, and the clarity wasn't very nice.
And he just seems so helpless because, like we talked about before, you know, he's kind of given up the power at this point, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's been vulnerable, and now in his own home, Shane is saying that he can't do this.
In his own home. In his own home. You're never coming to my house
His
again.
monument
that
to Shane.
he built for Shane.
That I built for you. This beige ass house.
It hurts. It hurts so bad. And like how
These
he
windows.
doubles down on saying the last name. Like he just keeps saying Hollander over and over again. And he's like the way that he like shakes his head and says Hollander, I'm like, the please don't go is silent, but it is so loud. And Shane just says, I'm sorry. And he walks away and he leaves Ilya sitting on the couch, still with his hand stretched out, looking like his whole world is just burst into ashes. And it's just, again, he got too comfortable and too vulnerable and got burned, just like every other time, except maybe with Svetlana.
And the thing is, they're feeling the same thing, right? Like Ilya is feeling the shame from having been so vulnerable and getting burned, like you said, but also Shane is feeling that as well, not from getting burned, but just being so vulnerable, right?
Yeah.
And being unprepared for the type of vulnerability that Ilya was already prepared to give him when Shane walked through the door. Shane wasn't prepared for that again. So it's just a lot for him. And so I get it. I understand where he's at, you know, and it is just sad. And he's also got all the pressure points from the entire episode of like, you know, the family and what's your public image going to be? And are you going to get a beard? What do you think about girls? Ilya fucking said that, right? So like, it's a lot. It's a lot. Maybe it's time to come and go home for the night.
Yeah.
I think it definitely could have been handled better, but
absolutely.
I really like the emotional breakage because it was also like 8 years, guys, like 8 years, you know,
and they desperately want this. Both of them desperately want this. And so like, here's this little taste of it. And then being like, but it can never be real. So I've got to get the fuck out of here to protect myself from this.
Fair. Yeah.
This is one of the hardest scenes for me to watch. Nothing hurts my soul more than a heartbroken Ilya Rozanov. Like, my note at the end of this just says, I want to throw up.
Are you more of an Ilya girly than a Shane girl? Okay. Well, I'm a Shane Hollander girly, so.
That's fair. You know, I always fall in love with the bisexuals, so.
That's okay. Well,
I'm a Hayden girly.
Yes.
Yeah, well,
I'm just kidding.
Somebody has to be. We know who's writing the fan fiction.
Honestly, I'd be a Scott one.
I am a Scott Hunter girly. That is my number one. No. I changed it. I'm talking about these two. With these two, I'm a Shane girly. But out of the entire show, Scott Hunter is my boo.
I was like, I think I'm probably Kip. I'm like in deep denial. I don't know what's happening. Like, I'm like,
you're trapped in the apartment. They're not letting you leave.
They're like literally pointing and waving, and I'm like, me? Like
You can make Alfredo.
I will say when we first watched episode 3, we were like, oh my gosh, is this like he's keeping Kip in the apartment?
It was questionable for a moment.
Yeah.
It was.
I mean, just the like, first of all, one of their first real conversations was about murder. And then the first time they hook up, he's like, please don't ever leave. And I'm like, there's a lot of red flags. Anyway, we cut to dinner with Shane and his parents, and they're at a table for 4. And I just want to talk about the framing for a second because it's so intentional throughout the show. Like, we've seen them in this exact same restaurant at this exact same table. And it was when Shane's career was like first beginning to thrive and he was like getting everything he ever wanted and his life was like balancing out perfectly. And we see him they're all sitting in the same spot. But in that episode, the framing is done through like David and Yuna's, like the space between them. Yeah. So everything is perfectly balanced. And now he's got this piece of him that's lost in Ilya that he doesn't have. And we get the waiter coming over and being like, are we waiting for another person? And everything is shifted and we see it off balance in this scene.
Like an empty space.
Yeah.
Damn, I'm going to have to do like a closer watch of the next few episodes. Shit.
This is what they paid me for.
This is good stuff too.
I know.
And then obviously we get the cottage scene where it's the 4 of them and everything is perfectly balanced again.
Oh.
So we're just like feeling that emptiness next to him heavier in this scene. And then we get Yuna like taken over. She's like, no, it's fine. It's just the 3 of us. And she's like, have you decided about Wimbledon? Rolex really wants you there. And I worried I worry that they think their box is like too Tennessee. And Shane's like, does that mean too white? And I was like, yes, that's exactly what it means. That is what it means. But then Yuna's like, I thought you liked your deal with Rolex. And I was like, that is such a mom response just to be like, you said something feisty. What does that mean? You don't like the things that are provided for you now? Like,
well, exactly. And it's really a very like business perspective. Even when they bring up, well, there's this Swedish princess there, you know, kind of also pushing him towards that side a bit too. It's also brought up kind of as if she's going to try to hook her son up, she's going to try to hook him up in kind of a businessy way.
Right. Yeah.
In a way that benefits both of them. You know, she doesn't want him just dating a random person off the street or somebody who's not going to, you know what?
A mutual benefit.
Yuna would have had a problem or more of a problem with Kip and Shane dating than
I wonder what she
she's
thought
already
of
got
Rose.
the prenup. She's like, I have a prenup ready whenever you find someone.
Ironclad, baby, ironclad.
Because if he was just like, if she was just because Kip studies art, so if he was dating an art grad student, she'd be like, I don't. How can I spend this?
This
how can I spend this for money?
Barista's not getting any of your money. No Rolex money.
But we also this every time we're at this table they talk about Rolex, which I thought was like an interesting, like he just got the Rolex deal the last time we were at this table, and now she's like, what, you don't like your Rolex deal? I
love it. I love that stuff too, because it's just like, I don't know, that sort of thread that keeps going.
Has Rolex posted anything about Heated Rivalry?
I haven't looked. It wouldn't surprise me. The brands have really been
a press statement. They said, we do not represent Shane Hollander.
I mean, Canada finally put out, not Canada, Canada Dry.
All of Canada, just the president of Canada said, Heated Rivalry, go.
And I also love the little slip that Yuna has here where she's like, it's next to a prince. No, a princess. And I'm like, you would have had more luck.
I didn't catch that was a slip either. And I remember her saying it, but I didn't catch that would be a slip.
Yeah, because I also I feel like this was them, like they're definitely poking around. And because then she, at the very end, when he goes to the bathroom and the dad is like, a sweetest princess, and she's like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what I was doing.
The closet is glass.
Yes.
Well, I think they are confused because, I mean, we do get it confirmed that he is on the spectrum, right? So with and how he deals with all relationships is probably different. I think Hayden really took him under his wing.
Yeah.
Because I just don't think he's very just close to other people besides his family and Hayden. So I don't think it seems too odd. It just seems a little odd, especially after 8 years. It seems like, okay.
He's probably never.
We're probably gonna have to push him towards somebody, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they say that in the first episode when we're getting like it's the hockey announcer, but we're getting all their backstory, and they're like, he's not the most sociable, but he's very good at hockey, and like saying that you know he doesn't have a lot of friends, but you know hockey is his life. But we get this conversation about Wimbledon, and he's like, again, they order wine for him, and he wants a ginger ale, and they don't have that. It's like, just give this man a ginger ale.
He needs to carry one with himself.
Yeah.
It's like when you go to a restaurant and you ask for Coke, and they say, we've got Pepsi. Is that okay? It's not okay.
No, it's completely different. Okay. Sparkling water is not the same as ginger ale. But they talk about, like, you could have a glass of wine if that's what you want. And he's like, I can't, not during the season, this is another, like, part of his neurodivergence is, like, these are the set of rules that I've given myself, so I have to stay within them. So he's like, no, not during the season. I can't have a drink.
It's also just him being an athlete. And I think that's, like, I think that's a weird, like, out of character thing maybe for his mom. Is his mom, like, should, like, know that, like, don't push that, you know, like his especially because he has a game so soon.
But she also knows how uptight he is and how probably punishing he is to himself, you know. And she's saying it is okay to slip up sometimes, or to give yourself grace in moments.
To slip up and slip into a
rival.
A rival.
But they go into this like argument about going to London, and they're like, you loved it when you were a kid. We could do all these things. And he's like, well, you guys go. You'd have a great time. And he says, like, you're the tennis fan, Dad. And she's like, well, they're not going to give us the tickets. We're just the parents. And he says, well, then I'll just lie. Tell them I'm coming. They won't kick you out. And then you can just tell them that I'm like sick or something. And she says, honey, I don't want you to lie. That's not who you are. And I said, oop.
He's like, you don't know me, Mom.
It's your dream, Mom, not mine.
Yeah.
It's your dream, Mom, not mine.
And that kind of like brings him out of the funk he's in, and he realizes kind of like how much he's saying and how like he's acting.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm in a weird mood. But also I skipped over the line where he says like, I have 2 weeks off a year and I don't want to spend it with somebody I don't even know talking about something I don't care about.
That's a good point too. Like 2 weeks is nothing. When you get older, 2 weeks is shit,
nothing,
you know, so.
But also considering how little time they've had together, it also is so long for them to be together.
That'd be crazy.
So yeah. And so then he gets up and like walks off, and that's when the dad is like, a Swedish princess? Like, what are you doing? So we cut back to Shane's house, and he is just hanging out by himself as he does. And JJ's on the phone, and he's trying to get him to come out because his buddy is a chef, and he's having the entire cast of the X Squad movie they're filming.
And
I'm like, they're so heavy-handed with like this being the X-Men and Rose being Jennifer Lawrence.
Yes.
It's so obvious.
And why not? You know?
Yeah. I mean, and that's what in the time that it was all happening, like that would have been exactly perfect. So JJ tells him to get down there, and he relents and goes over. And I love like when he walks in, JJ's like, yes, you bitch. Like, it's so enthusiastic.
It's so fun. I want to see Shane out having fun, you know?
I do too.
He's like, he never leaves the house. This is a miracle. And he goes over to the bar. And this irks me really bad because he's like,
it irks me too.
Ooh, it makes me so mad. He says,
because the bar has ginger ale.
Yeah, he's like, do you have any ginger ale? And the bartender says, I mean, we do, but... And I'm like, rude, you don't know this man. He could be in recovery for
Leave
all
him
you
alone.
know.
I love this bartender, and I hope he is in season 2. I hope he gets a whole episode. I hope he gets Scott Hunter.
I just like... It's just... You don't know anything about him. He could be in recovery, and you're like pressure. Now he's like folded and getting a beer, and that's on you, bartender.
Though he does know about him because he knew exactly who he was.
I mean, he knows him.
Yeah, but he doesn't. That's a good point, though. He doesn't know if he's in like recovery or anything like that.
Yeah, but I think it's also that parasocial relationship people develop with other people where they're not really thinking that. Though as a bartender, he should have been more aware.
He could have just been trying to be flirty, maybe.
I mean, he definitely is. He's in the book. He's like very heavy-handed, trying to pitch Shane up.
He should have.
Well, that's not going to help him with his problem of trying to find a beer. Okay. And he's like,
he's got a beer.
He gets a beer, yeah, and it's also really awkward because the bartender like won't let him pay, but then also won't take the tip, and he's like, it's an honor, and I'm like, bleh, I don't like this.
It's like take the tip. Also, is a beer the beard of drinks?
Yes.
I don't know where you're going with that, but sure, yes. And this bartender is cute, Ashley, so leave him the fuck alone.
No! So then he's like, cool crowd tonight. And my note just says, oh, my son. Cool crowd. He says, are you kidding? A bunch of famous actors are here tonight. Rose Landry's here, man. And he says, she is? And he's like, I might need another one of these then. And I'm like, he's like, I'm going to need to be so hammered if I'm going to try to pick up a girl.
I didn't think about that, but I thought it was more so him just being social, but also that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Because he probably has a little bit of a crush on Rose Landry, right? Like, I think a lot of gay men develop, especially like worship crushes on women. So that's probably what he's feeling. I
mean, we all remember loving Rose Landry back in 2016. So yes.
Yes.
I love her now. I love Rose.
We screamed because I didn't know she was in this fucking show when we first watched it. And so we were watching it, like, as we do reactions for these, and we were watching it, and I saw Shauna Shipman on my fucking screen. And I felt a little bit of panic. I felt scared. I felt excited to see her.
Is she gonna kill him?
Is she gonna eat his butt cheeks?
That's what I felt too, because she is scary to me now after Yellow
she has
Jackets.
Crazy. I love her. I love this actress. Like, she's one of my favorites right now. But she does have a little crazy in her eye.
Yeah, they're just so big.
They are. They're expressive.
Yeah.
She's super expressive.
I had gone on the IMDb to look up something. So I had seen that she was in the show. I was like, oh my God. And then I saw that her name was Rose. So like when I started this episode and it was called Rose, I was like, oh, we're going to get Shauna Shipman in this episode.
They're so fucking crazy, dude. We just made Yellow Jackets jokes the entire scene.
I bet you did.
We were thinking of in our mental space, this was Shauna right after leaving the wilderness.
Right after leaving her lesbian soccer team to go hook up with a guy on the gay hockey team.
Reminds her of Coach.
Coach, Ben.
So he you see him, he is he's really down in these beers. And he walks over to take a break. And I love that he just sits down in this booth without looking to see if anybody is there, and then is absolutely shocked when someone is.
Yeah, because why is she sitting there by herself?
Yeah. And for it to be her, because, he's been thinking, where is she? She's here somewhere. And then he looks up and now they're face to face in a booth. And she's eating these fries that they gave her, and she's trying to get him to eat them. And she introduces herself, and he's like, I'm Shane. Wow, I'm a big fan. And she says, would you be surprised to know I'm a fan of yours? And he's like, really? And she's like, Michigan girl with 3 brothers. Have a fry, Shane Hollander. Detroit is not going to go easy on you tomorrow. And my note just says, and Shane takes a fry because he is a good boy.
Because he listens to instruction.
And then we get this time jump. They've eaten all the fries now, and they're talking about Rose's past with movies, and she's talking about how she was 8. She played a girl who got kidnapped and held for ransom by Bill Paxton. And she was like, but he was actually pretty nice to me, and it was good practice. And Shane was like, at getting kidnapped? And she's like, yeah, I have been kidnapped in no less than 4 movies, including the one I'm doing right now.
I know.
And
I love the lore. I wish we got her whole filmography. I would love to know what her movie titles were.
Yeah. We, I don't know if y'all noticed, but they get this conversation later on where she's talking about the shitty FBI movie that she did Under Dark, and that she filmed it here. And in the Scott and Kip episode, we see the poster for it on the side of the bodega.
Oh, see, I didn't know.
I saw that somebody saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. So she's like, paint me a picture. What were you like at 8? And he makes the joke when she's like, okay, your turn. And he's like, well, I've never been kidnapped. So I'm he's very funny. And so he's like, I'm definitely on the ice. The scouting and stuff didn't start for a couple more years. So, I was out there just having fun. And she's like, did it stop being fun? And he says, well, I mean, kind of. I love it, but it got more intense. So I guess it got more intense. And so I got more intense too, if that makes sense. And she's like, yeah, it does. And I'm like, she would probably get it more than the average person, because she's also been acting since she was younger. And that's going to get more intense as you get older and get into more adult roles. And so
and we can kind of fill in the blanks that she probably had, if she was acting so young, she probably had a stage parent as well.
Yeah.
So
yeah. And they're just immediately aligned. They're just really,
I love them.
Really easy
I'm
conversation.
Obsessed with them together.
Yeah.
I love how they end up to their friendship,
Yeah. It's very good. I'm so grateful that it was her that he runs into and has this experience with. And she's like, I also thought this was a bit presumptuous, but okay. She's like, also, I bet being the only Asian kid, didn't make it any less intense. And he's like,
I was trying to think back if he like had mentioned that before, because I'm like, that's a crazy thing to say.
Yeah, right? And he's like, no, I wasn't the only one. There was one.
Actually, there was another one. I just didn't get picked on as much because I have a Western last name.
Yeah. And she's like, yeah, and I bet you're pretty fucking good too, right? And he's like, I was all right. So then there's like another time jump. We see her talking about her brothers. All of them are involved in hockey too. And then we get that that discussion about Underdark where she talks about how awful it was. And he's like, I fly a lot, so I watch a lot of movies. And like, it was a terrible movie, but you were good in it. And she's like, no, I'm not. And, he's like kind of feeling out her experience in Montreal through this discussion. And he's like, she tells him it was in the summer. And he's like, well, it's kind of different in the winter. And she's like, Michigan girl, remember, your winter doesn't scare me. And he takes like another gulp of his beer and then has this like nervous moment where he's just like kind of working himself up. And he says, so, are you going to be in town for a little while this time? And then she just kind of like flirtily smiles at him. And we get this like short little scene of them kind of like hanging out and getting closer. But this is what I have deemed as this is the most unrealistic scene of the entire series, because we see them playing poker. And I was like, Shane Hollander playing poker, as if he would lose every time. He can't even lie a little bit.
And he probably did, but he still partook.
I feel like he'd be good at poker.
He cannot lie.
I don't know. I don't know if he would be.
I root for him.
He would be. He probably loves Rose Landry teaching him poker, and he probably loves Ilya teaching him poker. He is our little like subby sub.
That's true.
Boy.
Also, JJ's like just being the life of the party the whole night, and I love that. And we get this shot of them like making eyes at each other, and she like puts her hand on his thigh, and he puts his hand on hers. And then it's like a hard cut to the Boston gym. And Marley's like, Rose, come over here. You got to see this. You're going to shit, man. And Ilya walks over with like no sense of urgency. He's just like, what the fuck are you guys going to show me now? And he's like, show him. And Connors shows him his phone, and he just grabs it and goes,
oh, no. Gay rage.
you can see his heart drop in that moment too. You can really see his heart drop.
And that like the whole time they're having this conversation, Connors and Marley, where they're like, she's a huge movie star. Like, how'd he even meet her? And Connors is like, she's shooting in Montreal. And Marley's like, how do you even fucking know that? And he's like, it says it right here on the article, and like reads it out. And this whole time that they're having this discussion, Ilya's just like having a full on meltdown.
He's thinking of ways to kill Rose.
Yeah, he is.
Yes.
He's got to reach out to his friends in Russia.
To kidnap her.
Yes.
What he doesn't know is Rose always has a fork ready to take out a gay.
This is another note where I want to throw up. Like these boys make me want to throw up the way that they treat each other. Also, I want to point out the actor that plays Connors is Harrison Brown, and he's the first ever pro hockey player who was out as trans.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So that was cool that they included him in the show.
And I know the other guy was on Letterkenny. That's the only thing I know about the other guy.
Dude, love some Letterkenny.
Is this in the Letterkenny universe too?
This is. Anything in Canada takes place in the same. All the Canadian Christmas movies are in this universe.
Schitt's Creek too. It's all the same.
Schitt's Life Creek, with Derek in this universe.
Kim's Convenience Store.
Now we need one big crossover with everybody.
Yes, a big party, a Christmas party.
The Canadian Avengers. What are we talking about? Let's move on.
Okay, so we get this like montage of photos that Ilya is seeing of them together, and I just love the way that they like frame it. I think I mentioned this in one of the last episodes, but when we're seeing them watching a video or looking at pictures, it's framed into like whatever they're watching it on. Like if it's a TV, it's a smaller TV on our TV.
That
if
aspect
it's a phone,
ratio.
It's like a smaller aspect. So that was cute the way that they did the on their tiny little phones, the tiny little pictures. And we see them, they're like walking the streets, they're holding hands, they're smiling and they're laughing.
They call the paparazzi. They're like, hey, come see us here.
Shane does. He's like, come come film me with
There's
my beard.
there's a paparazzi photo of I saved it for this recording, but there's a paparazzi photo of Madonna with when she was married to Guy Ritchie. They were walking out of like some store, and she had a plastic bag, and in it you could see like a strap on.
I saw that meme.
Somebody edited them together.
I was like, now we know what color it is.
That's what they were doing. They were buying. Rose was buying a strap on for Shane.
So we cut over to like the Detroit game, and she's there with Miles, and we see Shane doing the hockey stretch, like the one that everybody films and thirsts over, which is fun. And then we see like she has on one of his jerseys, and everybody notices her, and she like waves, and she turns and like points at his number and stuff. And the guy that plays Kip went to one of the Pride Nights, the hockey Pride Nights recently. I don't remember what city. And when they called him out, he like stood up and revealed he had on a Scott Hunter jersey, and he like turned and did this like she did. So it was cute.
I hate them.
She like blows a kiss, and Hayden is like geeking out about it. And we go on over to more online photos of like Shane and Rose, and we see this is like an Instagram montage. We see like some comments where people are like freaking out about it, like, oh, my favorite actress and my favorite hockey player. This is going to be the couple's costume of the century, and like just like pretty good stuff that you would see, like, oh, this pairing just cured my seasonal depression. Like,
they were all tweets cut from me.
It's giving Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift.
There's a little bit of that in there.
Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift.
And then we see like e-talk, which is just like them talking about it and saying how cute they are, and like it's as long as they don't spoil, like as long as Shane doesn't spoil anything from the X Squad sequel, then they're happy with it. Like all this stuff, and Ilya is like. We cut out of that, and Ilya's on the bikes next to Marley, and he just like turns it off, and Marley's like, hey, I was watching that, and he's like, ugh, and like gets off his bike, and then he like starts cursing, and Marley's like, are you good? And he's like, I stubbed my toe. I love the way he says that too. Delivery, so
I
good.
stubbed my toe.
I stubbed my toe. He's like walks off.
That's the one line I wrote in my notes today. Is Ilya, I stubbed my toe.
I stubbed my toe. So good. And then we cut to 2 weeks later, Montreal, and we're
Thank you. I didn't know how much time that was.
And they're getting ready to play Ilya. We learned from the like announcer that's talking about it. Talking about the rivalry and who's going to win. And Shane gets a text. And as he does, so the announcer had said, Shane Hollander and the Metros will look to put some distance tonight between themselves and their arch rivals, the Boston Raiders. And then we hear his phone buzz. And the announcer says, but we'll see what Ilya Rozanov has to say about that. And he picks up his phone, but it's Rose instead of Ilya. And there is a moment where he's like, hesitates to pick it up because they're playing each other. It would make sense that Ilya would text him, but he doesn't. And we get Rose saying that she's like not going to make it to his game. It's also so jarring when he says, that's okay, babe. I was like, ugh, I don't like that.
It doesn't feel natural, does it? No.
Then she says, what? Don't break a leg?
Yeah, don't break a leg. It was very cute. She invites him to come out later, and she's like, I won't make you dance, I promise. And he calls her a liar. And I was like, true. She's already planning that she wants to dance. And then after he like hearts her last message, he goes through his thread and he looks at the Jane and Lily thread. And they haven't texted at all since the last time.
And you can tell because it was the last message that was sent last time.
That we saw. Yeah. But we do see some other messages that I thought were funny, just like his mom, and then like there's one from his dad that says, just send flowers, always works for me. And I'm like, has his dad been giving him rose advice, like how to treat a woman,
how to talk to a woman?
Yes. And then Hayden is like, no surprise guests, LOL, I promise. And I'm like, has Hayden been surprised setting him up with women? Come over. And then the mommy
Hayden, leave this man alone.
And then we cut to the ice, and this is where we get the like parallel from the beginning of Ilya slamming Shane into the glass, but he is not smiling this time. And we see Shane and Hayden are sitting there, and Hayden's like, "We'll get him, buddy. It's just a little rust." And we see that they're sitting next to each other like they have been in the past when
So
they would normally
awkward.
they would normally talk. And Shane looks over multiple times at Ilya, but Ilya does not look at him. Eye contact has been so important for them their entire relationship because they have been hiding, right? So they steal glances all the time, and now it's just so jarring for them to
because
like,
if Ilya looks at Shane in this moment, then it's a little bit too vulnerable and it's letting his guard down too much. And the only time he'll look at him is, again, I'm gonna bring that word up, power. He's got a little bit of power at the end where he is dancing with that girl and Shane sees him, and that is the time that he looks him in the eye.
Yeah,
and he's
the
like,
first time
I
that they
have the
make
upper
eye
hand
contact.
here, and I know that this bothers you, and this is what I'm doing to bother you specifically. So it's like,
because what you've been doing has been bothering me.
I
Yes.
know. How dare you?
Yeah. And he can't escape it either.
I'd be sending him text messages like, I know what you are.
because Ilya wants to be his rose enough.
That's another thing that I joked about. I was like, he went from Rosenoff to Rose, and I was like, you can't say the wrong name if they're the same name.
Oh my God. What if they did that? That would have been crazy.
But then we hear the announcer like say, the Boston Raiders managed to win, blah, blah, blah. And then he says, but where on the ice was Shane Hollander? And the other one says, where was Ilya Rosenoff? And I just have in all caps, they're both still on that couch frozen in sadness with me.
with me in the middle.
I'm there. And then we cut to Ilya in the bathroom staring at himself. And I just want to say that in this shot right here, you can see his shower very clearly. And it is a small step-in shower with a curtain rod. No glass, baby.
Oh.
Ilya wasn't doing that at the end. That was mental.
I mean, he definitely was at his hotel room jerking off. In the book, Ilya goes home alone because the girl that he's dancing with is like... Actually, so I have a boyfriend and he likes to watch me with other dudes. And so he's like watching this right now, but I will be leaving with him. And Ilya's like, fucking shit. I'm like,
well, he does that in this too. He's looking in the mirror and he goes, fuck this shit.
Fuck this shit. Yeah.
Right into it.
But he's probably thinking, because he rammed him into the glass, right?
Uh-huh.
They love glass. And he's thinking, you whore.
Probably is.
Yeah.
He's like the negative tweets that they're getting about their relationship from Ilya.
It's all him. He starts burner accounts just to shut on the relationship.
So funny.
It's like, I don't know about this. Shane looks like a queer to me.
I also love that, like, he goes out into the room and Connors is, like, already comfy in bed looking at the room service menu. Like, he is cozied up for the night. And I'm like, Ilya probably
Let's
never...
go out. And he says, what? He says, get people.
Yeah. And I'm like, he never goes out with them when they're in Montreal. He's always with Shane. So the other guy was like...
that's fair.
We're not going to do anything. We're in Montreal. Like, so I'm going to get cozy and get some room service. And then Ilya comes out and is like, what the fuck are you doing? And he's like, shit, okay, sorry, what?
I didn't know that you and Jane broke up.
Right. Yeah. And so as he's like, he tells him, tell people, and he grabs his phone and he says, Jesus fucking Christ, and like goes to walk back into the bathroom to get ready. And we hear all the things she said start to like fade in. And then we cut to the club, and the lighting is bisexual as fuck.
Mm-hmm. We love some bisexual lighting.
Yes, I love the slow-mo walk-in with him, too. There's the slow-mo in this scene is so good and effective. So, like, this is where I'm going to do a little bit of the lyric breakdown. As we move through this scene, I'm going to say, like, what lines are being said.
Oh, perfect. I'm set.
So, like, as he walks in, we get the chorus, all the things she said running through my head. And then we see Rose and Miles sitting in a booth. And as soon as we see Rose's face, we hear, this is not enough. And she says, hi, handsome. And it's like, oop, Shane is there. It is the same club and shit is about to go down. And so they're talking about the game, and she's like, it was good. And he's like, no, it wasn't. Miles is like, flirty as hell with him and says like he watched a couple of clips, but it was like a sweaty blur, but he doesn't mind watching sweaty blurs. And Rose is like, I want to dance with Shane. And he's like, that makes two of us. And I'm like, Miles is really like, he's like, can we all go home together tonight, please? And Rose tells him to go get champagne. And she like leads Shane to the dance floor. And again, we get the chorus kicks back in. And then we cut over to Ilya at the bar. And I love that he apologizes for his teammates to the bartender. He's like, I'm so sorry about them. Can I actually have one more though? And like they all leave and leaves him there at the bar. And we hear, this is not enough. And then he like sees Miles down at the end of the bar, and we hear this is not enough again. And that's when like the recognition hits
I know this shit is crazy too. And it's like the like intense feelings that wash over him in that moment. He immediately scans the room looking for him.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm like his heart bursts into 1,000 little tiny fireballs that are killing him slowly from the inside as soon as he sees him.
Do I kill everybody in this club or do I cry?
Yeah. And the way that it's like slow motion for the turn as the camera is like coming around with him, it's so
good shit. It's good shit. And the song placement is fucking great.
And I watched this with a friend the first time I watched it, and she had already seen it, but it was like her second watch and my first watch of it. And like during that scene, I just turned to her. I was like, I'm gonna throw up. Like my stomach is in knots. She was like, yeah, it's not gonna get better. I was like, okay, great. So he like he clocks him, right? And he takes a deep breath, and then he turns back to the counter and like bangs on. He's like, give me that fucking beer. I'm not being nice anymore. Give me my beer. Cause like not only is this a slap in the face of like seeing them in person, like with his own eyeballs for the first time, but also this is them doing something in public. Like she's getting to be with Shane in public in a way that he thinks he never will. And so it's like all of these extra emotions.
And so those hurt feelings that he has, he's going to reciprocate and then hurt Shane as well. It basically turns into like white chicks, and they like have a dance battle. And they're like, I know you bitches don't think this is over. And it's like their teams dance against each other.
And also, Ilya probably went out to forget about Shane Hollander.
Exactly.
And then he's there.
But he cannot, not under the bisexual lighting.
He's like, I can't get rid of this guy.
Can't escape it.
Yeah.
And the lyrics that we hear during that exchange of seeing Miles and like seeing them and then turning around and getting the beer is, I'm all mixed up, feeling cornered and rushed. They say it's my fault, but I want her so much. Want to fly her away where the sun and the rain come in on my face, wash away all the shame. And then he like takes a big glug of his beer and like starts to walk off. And it starts with when they stop and stare, don't worry me. Cause I'm feeling for her what she's feeling for me. I can try to pretend, I can try to forget, but it's driving me mad going out of my head. And during that line is when we see Shane looks up and sees Marley and Connors and is like, oh, Ilya's probably here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he like immediately tenses up, and Rose is like completely oblivious. Like she's had a couple drinks already. She's fully not paying attention to his body language. And Miles comes up and like he starts grinding on Shane from behind as we're hearing like, this is not enough. This is not enough. And I think it's very interesting to see him smushed between the two of them when that's like his internal
it's his whole internal monologue.
Yeah.
It's interesting that I don't know. I would be curious to know what conversations Rose and Miles were having too, because like if I'm out with my man and my friend is coming on to my man, that's a red flag for me. I don't like that. So I have to imagine that she is like okay with it, right? Like, I don't know. It's a weird situation.
I wasn't really hot with how Miles was acting with Shane. I think
it was too much.
There's a flirtiness that you can have with people that you're friendly with, and that's fine, But then I think that for me, it looked like there should have been a line that he was crossing,
I wonder if they had a conversation about Shane ahead of time. Like maybe those questions about Shane were already kind of there.
I think definitely, because the way that she keeps bringing him up and saying like Miles is so into you, like so I think they've definitely had some conversations about him. But he looks up and he sees Ilya with the luckiest extra to ever exist dancing on the dance floor. And the music fades into the slow remix as Shane's emotions kind of take over the scene. And this is when Miles like kisses him on the neck. And that's like the last straw for him. He's like, I gotta get out of here. I'm overstimulated as fuck. And we see he's like tells Rose he's gonna go to the bathroom and walks over, and Ilya is just like all over this girl. I mean, he's like rubbing his hands up and down all over her. He's licking her neck. He puts her whole ear in his mouth.
It's giving Lestat.
It is giving Lestat a lot.
Yes. So it's also this scene of him like walking over and them staring at each other is spliced with Shane and Rose back at his house. And the way that the camera like is spiraling, like turning around them in the club, and then we see his like spiral staircase from above, and as we're looking down at the spiral staircase, the camera's turning too, and I'm like, everybody is spiraling all at once.
We're drunk. We're all drunk and gay here.
Yeah. Also, when Rose like takes off her dress, Shane looks like he's gonna throw up.
I don't know. That ass
like, I don't know. Yes, it looks
I mean,
great.
that ass was pretty great.
Yes.
Yeah.
But like, you know that he's like, okay, all right, I got to do this now.
This is the first time he questions the windows. He's like, but there's windows here.
What I do like is the parallel between the beginning of the episode, Shane and Ilya going up those stairs, and then the end of the episode, because I mean they couldn't keep their hands off each other, and then this one you have kind of direct opposite, where it's like she's leading him, but
that hesitation
he doesn't necessarily want to follow. You know,
he's like, "What am I doing?"
We see them kiss one time in this sex scene.
Yeah.
Out of the entire sex scene, we see the one kiss.
And then he buries her face. He like hides her face with his chest. He's like, he's like looking anywhere but at her.
Yeah,
because he's imagining, I guess, Ilya in the bathroom. I just thought when I first watched it that was what Ilya was doing afterwards, which he probably was, but
he definitely
makes much more sense in the context of we're in Shane's head right now. And he's imagining what Ilya is doing.
Yeah.
And maybe he's even looking towards his own bathroom, right? And if he's looking at his bathroom, looking at the shower.
Then that's why he's picturing it.
Yeah.
So then we see like at one of the times when they're making eye contact, and that's when I was like, this is the first time they've made eye contact since the tuna melt. And we hear, I'm in serious shit. I feel totally lost. If I'm asking for help, it's only because being with you has opened my eyes. Could I ever believe such a perfect surprise? And then it cuts to Rose kissing his like tummy. And it says, I keep asking myself, wondering how I keep closing my eyes, but I can't block you out, which is perfect for a Rose scene. And then we cut back to Ilya. This is when he puts this bitch's whole ear in his mouth while keeping eye contact with Shane. And we get the lyrics again. Want to fly to a place where it's just you and me, nobody else, so we can be free.
I thought the lyric was going to be like, can't hear a word you're saying.
Yeah.
It's like...
Shane takes off his shirt, and then we get the first shot of Ilya in the shower, the glass shower. And he is like jerking off. He's like grabbing his own ass.
He's like grabbing his ass cheek. You know what? If you've got him and he's willing to show his ass, get him to grab it a little too. And
we see Shane is fucking Rose, and Ilya turns to face the glass, and Shane is like staring up into nothing, and probably like you said at his shower, and Ilya is like staring. The way that they do the like straight into the camera stare is crazy. And then I said, this is the scene where they both pause and like neither one of them are dancing. Like the girl is all over Ilya, but they're just frozen staring at each other. And then as they both are coming, we hear, this is not enough. This is not enough. And I'm like, it's so good. And then we cut to black. And
My
that's the
gosh,
end.
it was like that was a really, really
Oh,
great
that's
like sort of
interesting.
ending to it too. And we cut to black, and then there's like a second before when the credits come on, the music starts again,
Yeah.
and so it's just
It's
like
so
pushes you
good.
right back into it.
Mhm.
The silence with the moans before the music cuts back in is
Yeah.
so good.
You also feel like you're drunk. It's 2 to 3
Yeah.
a.m. in a club, and you're
I know.
at that
I finished the episode, and I'm like, did I sleep with Rose Landry?
All right, so we're at the end, and now I have some superlatives. Favorite scene, Alastair?
So my favorite scene is the tuna melt scene with
Cute.
the ginger ale. I think it's just like that was like a physical rendering of his affection towards Shane.
Yeah.
Cute.
First thing he gives him, I guess, except for the other thing he's been giving him.
I think I would say the ending. I think it's just like such a punch. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I was already so into the show by this episode, but that club scene was like when I was like, this is cinema. This is like
is.
give
It
him
was.
all
Cinema.
of the awards.
This
all
is
of the
high
awards.
art.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So definitely shout out to the club scene, but also it's so heartbreaking that I'm not picking it for my favorite. I chose the like waking up together after like in bed and how cute they are, and then all the way through the like stay, like everything
Yeah.
that happens like in Ilya's bedroom is just like so cute and like lovey, like a little lovey
It's
bubble.
magic. It's that
Yeah.
early relationship, sort of like elated, walking on clouds.
Yeah. So the other thing we do is favorite quote. Zach?
I stubbed my toe.
I love it.
The way he says it is
Yeah.
It is the cutest line that he has said in the show for me. So,
It's good. Alistair?
Gosh, mine is. I had it in my head.
he's trying to think of a line. Period.
They said words in this episode?
Is that all the things you say running through my head?
Running through my head. No, I had it.
Well, tell me the scene. I'll start quoting some stuff.
Wait, no, I changed my mind. My favorite line is "Have a boring summer."
Oh,
Cute.
cute.
I chose specifically the last day that Ilya says where he like whines it a little.
Yeah.
Favorite musical cue or music moment? I feel like this one
There's
is
only
pretty
one. There has to be
easy.
only one for this episode.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
there's two.
There's two.
But I'm saying
but-
that this is like the song, this is the musical cue that like defined the show.
Well,
Yeah,
I don't know. I
You
don't.
know.
I don't feel like the music really hits this episode.
You've got to be fucking joking.
I'm
right?
kidding. I'm
Okay.
kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh.
It's all the things she said, but they do have two different versions of it, right?
Mhm.
The original and then the masculine voice one.
Yeah.
So I would go for the masculine voice one because it felt like it. Because we all know the original tattoo version, but for me, it was like I was like, what's changed? And it made me like look more at the scene, I think, because the music changed, but you didn't really. It's almost essentially the same song, anyways. It just has a masculine voice instead. So
It's slowed down. Yeah.
yeah.
It's more intense.
It
Yes.
sounds drunk.
Mm-hmm.
But very close runner up to My Moon, My Man at the top of that because that also
Yeah.
is perfectly placed. So
Mm-hmm.
so then the scale, the chaos scale.
Give your scale first on this. I'm gonna follow you. Give your scale on this first.
Okay, so this one actually is killing me because it's by far the saddest I get watching the show is this episode. When he leaves Ilya on the couch, it destroys me on a level that's hard to explain. If I was rating it on like technicality of how good the episode was, it would be like off the fucking charts. But because it's like an emotional scale, I'm going to give it a 1 because I refuse to go negative. Because like if I was just rating the first half of the episode, I would be like a 6,800,312. But considering how bad I get hurt on the second half, I'm going to give it a 1.
It's tough. I see. I hate like
Oh,
scales
hard.
and rating
It's
and
hard.
stuff like
Wait.
that. Like when Ian asks me to like rate a fucking episode, I'm not a teacher.
I always usually give it an A unless Connor's in an episode.
Yeah, right.
But question. So chaotic scale, right? So
So it's a how bad your heart stopped during the episode, but for happy reasons, not sad ones.
Oh, 5.
I
out of
guess
5.
2. I'm gonna go. What? I'll go with 2. I don't think I'll drop as low as 1, but I'll go with 2 probably.
Well, me 5 out of 5 because I love the high tension of the episode. Because I know
but they
that
came from
because of
bad
the high
moments.
tension, the payoff later is going to be even better.
Okay.
So
That's fair.
I like it because I was on a high watching this. Like I said, like this was kind of like another WandaVision event for us.
Mm-hmm.
And I personally felt that way, I think, watching it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. I like to do an average situation, but there's no like rules. Also, a lot of people do it like that where it's like in the context of the show, and I always try to rate it like my first viewing, like I don't know what's coming.
Mm-hmm.
But again, there's no rules.
Well, I think I'm good at 2 then.
Nice. You're right though. It's like I haven't been a part of a show that had this type of global community in a long time.
Yes. Yeah, very much so. It's a surprising amount. Like it did come out of nowhere for a lot of people.
Yeah, and just like having it come out every week and being able to like watch it.
Oh,
and
that
then
was
go online
beautiful.
and talk
That
to
was
everybody.
amazing.
Yeah, and the like queer sports bar in Nashville did like a live viewing of the finale. So I like went up to the bar
cool.
and watched it with a bunch of gays, and like it's just been very fun.
And it was only 5 episode drops because 2 of them dropped to that first one, so it's just too short. We need to like bring it up to 12. 12 is a good HBO number.
Yeah,
so,
and
10 at least.
10 at least.
So it will hopefully with more budget they can do more. But I also liked how fast paced it was, honestly, and it did like globally. I mean, it outpaced Stranger Things at least for a bit, at least in terms of like pop culture, people talking about it because people were talking about that way more. Yeah. Well, at least the second part, because remember they dropped the second part the same day. They dropped the last episode, and nobody was watching the second part. They were watching
Heated Rivalry.
Heated Rivalry. So
yeah. Well, thank y'all for joining me.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us.
It was so much fun.
I love talking about this. Yeah, I'm glad it wasn't episode 3.
Do you guys want to tell everybody where they can find you?
Oh, you can go to, if you search AZB or Adventures of Zach and B or Alastair's name or my name, you can find us. We'll pop up. But we are on Patreon at patreon.com/AZB Plus as well, where you can see all of our Heated Rivalry reaction videos. And we're going to be starting to cover Queer as Folk here soon. So that'll be fun. Yeah.
I've never
seen that. I haven't either.
Okay, that'll be fun.
we also do a book club. This last month, we covered Him by Serena Bowen and Elle Kennedy.
Another gay hockey thing.
Which
was
more
gays and hockey, I guess.
A gay hockey smut book. So
they're really popular right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
And in pivoting, we're going to Parable of the Sower by Octavia Butler for February. Yeah, less smut, I think.
This is
less smut, I think. All right. Well, I guess that just about wraps us up for today. We will be back in 2 weeks to talk about episode 5, I'll Believe in Anything. If you want to follow us online, we are at Why Are We Cast on all platforms. And if you like this, please consider rating and reviewing it as it helps others find us. Until next time, bye.
Bye.
Bye.